Dwindling way back. We know of ballistic capriscus, Erefua. Way back in late 1980s, they vanished all of a sudden in our waters. But records and research that we have done doesn't seem to be that they were overfished, which means there are also environmental dynamics. Probably the temperatures have been increasing since then. So not that they are no more in our waters, but they are not there in that abundant capacity that we used to see. One sure way is to do marine spatial planning, which we haven't done. It's on paper now in Ghana. We need to know what is where at what time. We know where the fishes are. Some of them, especially the demersals. Do we create fish sanctuaries? Do we create some artificial reefs that will attract fish, and then we open it from time to time to allow the fishes to fish? So all these things are things that we have done. It has been done elsewhere.
Yeah. Fisheries Commission. Kanu.
Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Almighty God, as we are gathered here today as a university and as a family to listen to our Professor Joseph Agrifin's inaugural lecture, we ask for your presence and leading. And we ask that may you come and take your seat in this program and make it a success. We ask for grace, excellence, and utterance for him. This we pray in the name of Christ Jesus our Lord with thanksgiving. Amen.
We shall remain standing as we sing the UCC anthem.
Therefore rise to your call, UCC, UCC, to the call, let us rise to our call, let us rise, Veritas nobis, lumen, UCC, UCC, therefore rise to your call, UCC, UCC, to the call, let us rise to our call, let us rise, Veritas nobis, lumen. UCC, UCC, we are the kindest of them all. UCC, UCC, we are the brainchild of Nkrumah. We train, we mold, and live by his vision to impart all virtues that Ghana may be strengthened. UCC, UCC, therefore rise to your call, UCC, UCC, to the call, let us rise to our call, let us rise, Veritas nobis, lumen, UCC, UCC, therefore rise to your call, UCC, UCC, to the call, let us rise to our call, let us rise, Veritas nobis, lumen.
Thank you very much. Kindly resume your seats. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm thrilled to welcome you to this inaugural lecture in honor of Professor Joseph Agrifin. This afternoon's lecture is titled Ghana's Declining Fisheries Resources, Reality or Myth. At this juncture, permit me to introduce our chairman. Our chair is a professor of coastal ecology and interdisciplinary ocean studies, a distinguished scholar and leader. He has more than 15 years of scientific project management experience. He serves as the authorized institutional representative for numerous donor-funded initiatives in marine, coastal, and fisheries management here at the University of Cape Coast, with support from organizations including the World Bank, the African Union, DANIDA, amongst others. Deeply committed to building and sustaining international academic partnerships within his field, our chairman's academic interests include climate change, sediment mining and coastal erosion, coastal livelihoods, gender equity and mainstreaming, marine contamination and pollution management, marine fisheries conflicts and ocean governance, and marine habitat conservation and management. His specializations also include climate change vulnerability assessment and adaptation, ecology and management of coastal water bodies and mangrove wetlands, fisheries and aquaculture socio-economics, integrated coastal zone management, and marine conflicts and fisheries governance. Our chair has an outstanding record of publications in peer-reviewed journals on coastal and marine ecosystem conservation, small-scale fisheries, marine spatial planning, wetlands ecology, and marine conflict. He contributes his expertise to several national and international boards and acts as a technical advisor to the World Bank's West Africa Coastal Areas Management Program. His work has been recognized with multiple awards for meritorious service to his profession. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Dennis Wolanyo Aheto.
Mr. Isaac Adom Konedu, Director, Directorate of Human Resources, representing Gideon Enoch Abekwe Esquire, Registrar of the University of Cape Coast. Osaberima Kwesiata II, Omanhene of the Gua Traditional Area. Nananum, representatives of the Honorable Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Professor Esiedu Bechi, and Mr. Dovlo, Central Regional Fisheries Commission Director. Professor Benjamin Campion, Executive Director of the Fisheries Commission of Ghana. Professor Eric Nyaku Samson, Vice Chancellor of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development. Professor Didi Kupoli, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast. Professor David Kofi Esuman, former Vice Chancellor of the Koforidua Technical University. Mr. Jeff Emmanuel Teonyame, former Registrar of the University of Cape Coast. College of Professors, Provosts, Deans, Directors of Academic and Administrative Units of the University of Cape Coast, Heads of Departments and Heads of Halls, Members of Convocation, Clergy, Staff and Students, distinguished invited guests, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the Governing Council, management, staff, and students of the University of Cape Coast, I warmly welcome all of you to this professorial inaugural lecture to be delivered by Professor Joseph Agrifin. We extend a special and heartfelt welcome to our distinguished guests, as well as to the family, friends, and associates of Professor Joseph Agrifin. Your presence today reflects the value we place on scholarship, intellectual exchange, and the celebration of academic achievements. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to highlight now on the significance of an inaugural lecture. Within the academy, the inaugural lecture is a cherished tradition. It provides universities with the opportunity to formally recognize the appointment or promotion of distinguished academics to the rank of professor. It also introduces them to the broader university community and offers them a platform to articulate their intellectual journey and scholarly contributions. An inaugural lecture is therefore a defining milestone in the career of an academic. It marks not only personal achievements, but also institutional recognition of sustained excellence in research, teaching, innovation, and service. At the University of Cape Coast, this tradition remains an important feature of our academic culture. This occasion marks a moment when our newly promoted professors engage the university-wide audience, showcasing their scholarship and sharing their perspectives on issues of importance within their disciplines and beyond, while enriching the intellectual life of the university and the nation as a whole. Each inaugural lecture, therefore, offers an opportunity for the professor to present his or her research achievements, innovations, community engagements, and teaching experiences to colleagues, students, and members of the public. Indeed, it is often said that, perhaps humorously, that it is one occasion when a professor can profess. So, Professor Griffin, we hope you will profess today without interruption or interrogation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now permit me to celebrate, or join me in celebrating Professor Joseph Agriffin. Thank you very much. Although Professor Joseph Agriffin was promoted to the rank of professor in February 2022, today marks the formal celebration of his significant milestone before a broad audience of colleagues, family, friends, and the general public in his lecture titled Ghana's Declining Fisheries Resources, Reality or Myth. Professor Joseph Agriffin will synthesize his extensive scholarly contributions to the marine fisheries sector, with particular emphasis on the significance of fisheries to the global industry and to Ghana's national economy. The fisheries sector currently provides livelihoods for nearly 3 million Ghanaians, either directly or indirectly, through fisheries-related activities. Overall, Ghana's fisheries sector contributes approximately 1.2% of the national gross domestic product, GDP. In his lecture, Professor Agriffin will present an overview of fish stock assessments for several commercially important species found in Ghana's waters and the wider Western Gulf of Guinea, based on research he has conducted over the years. Notably, exploitation levels has been assessed for species such as the great triggerfish, Guinea shrimp, golden African snapper, giant African cuttlefish, and the blue spotted sea bream with Ghana's fisheries. I deliberately left out the scientific name for him to do justice to them. And you notice that fishes indeed do have very special and nice names. He will also review key findings from these studies and emphasize how parts of his research have helped in shaping fisheries management policies currently being put into action in Ghana. The lecture will also present future plans and strategies for achieving sustainable fisheries management in Ghana. True to the spirit of an inaugural lecture, Professor Agriffin will present his insights in a clear and accessible manner, ensuring that colleagues, students, and members of the wider community, regardless of their discipline background, can appreciate both the scientific depth and societal significance of his work. His lecture promises not only to inform, but also will provide a way forward towards sustainable marine fisheries in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, now permit me to provide his profile. Professor Joseph Agriffin is a professor of fisheries and aquatic sciences in the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences at the University of Cape Coast. He is a distinguished academic with over 2.5 decades of teaching and research experience in fishery science, covering marine freshwater and brackish water systems. Professor Agriffin was born on 3rd October 1971 in Sekondi in the western region of Ghana. He has family ties in Elmina, Cape Coast, and Anomabo, all located in the central region of Ghana. He is the youngest of 10 children born to his mother. Now on his education. Professor Agriffin had his primary education at the Well Road Methodist Primary School, Sekondi, and continued at the Ketan Methodist Middle Boys School at Ketan. He obtained his Bachelor of Science BSc degree in zoology in 1998. In 1999, he was a teaching and research assistant at the Eswal Department of Oceanography and Fisheries at the University of Ghana, Legon, and then continued to the University of Bremen, Germany, the same year to start his Master of Science degree in Tropical Aquatic Ecology, which he completed in 2001. Prior to his doctoral studies, Professor Agriffin was employed at the Department of Zoology, University of Cape Coast in 2002. He returned to University of Bremen, Germany in 2004 to begin his PhD in Fisheries Oceanography, which he completed in 2008. In 2010, he further enhanced his professional expertise by undertaking 2 specialized training programs in Norway, one in environmental monitoring in marine habitats and another in monitoring and management of marine oil pollution, held in Bergen, Trondheim, respectively. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on his academic and professional career, Professor Joseph Agriffin started his academic career as an assistant lecturer at the Eswal Department of Zoology at the University of Cape Coast on 13th November 2002. He rose through the ranks, becoming a lecturer on 1st April 2003, promoted to a senior lecturer on 1st October 2011, associate professor on 1st October 2015, and professor on 1st February 2022. Professor Agriffin has supervised 5 PhDs, 16 MPhils, and over 62 undergraduate research works. He has mentored a number of young academics and professionals who are occupying positions in academia, research institutions, and industry. He has facilitated several training programs for Ghanaians and other African professionals in the fisheries sector. He has served as an academic, editor, and reviewer for numerous national and international reputable journals, such as the West African Journal of Applied Ecology, Journal of Fisheries and Coastal Management, and Fisheries Research. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, during his tenure as a founding director of the Institute of Oil and Gas Studies, UCC, an academia-industry relationship was established, and that led to the landmark signing of the Memorandum of Understanding on 7 March 2018 between GMPC and UCC to establish a professorial chair for petroleum commerce at the Institute for Oil and Gas Studies for 4 academic years between 2018 and 2022. Can we give him a round of applause? Thank you. Permit me to now touch on his leadership and administrative roles. Professor Agriffin has served in various capacities at the University of Cape Coast, and these include Department of Zoology Examination Officer, 2002 to 2004, Academic Advisor, 2003 to 2004, and then 2009 to 2010. Head of Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, 2008 to 2009, and 2021 to date. Hall Tutor of Valco Hall, 2009 to 2010. Senior Hall Tutor of Valco Hall, 2010 to 2012. Hall Master of Valco Hall, 2012 to 2014. Coordinator and later the founding director of the Institute for Oil and Gas Studies, 2014 to 2018. And the Vice Dean of the School of Biological Sciences, 2017 to 2021. On his research, interest, and publications, Professor Joseph Agriffin's scholarship spans several areas within fisheries and aquatic sciences. His research interests include fish stock assessment in the Western Gulf of Guinea, autolytic studies of marine fish species, food and feeding, ecology of fish, marine microplastics in fish stomach contents, and the interactions between marine capture fisheries and offshore oil and gas operations. He also conducts environmental monitoring in offshore oil and gas fields in Ghana and studies the occurrence of heavy metals in fish visceral organs in small-scale mining areas. His research findings have been widely published in reputable academic journals and have contributed significantly to the advancement of knowledge in fisheries and aquatic sciences. He has authored over 40 scientific publications, produced more than 15 research technical reports, developed 2 policy briefs, and created a web app designed to help manage overcapacity in Ghana's marine fisheries sector. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on his current collaborations with MPhil and PhD students, he explores socio-cultural issues in small-scale fisheries, the impact of plastic pollution on commercial marine fish species, habitat suitability modeling for sustainable fisheries management, stock assessment of the royal spiny lobster, and baseline sanitary surveys of bivalve growing areas in Ghana. Additional studies have examined mangrove ecosystem health, fisheries value chains, and the socioeconomic implications of establishing marine protected areas in Ghana. On his award, grants, and fellowships, Professor Agriffin has won a number of awards, grants, and fellowships during his career development as an academic. These include the Ghana Educational Trust Guest Fund Award to Germany, ZMT Bremen Travel Grant, Oil for Development Grant, Bergen, Stavanger, and Trondheim in Norway, that's the NORAD grant, USAID grant to Virginia and Washington, UK Research and Innovation Global Challenges Research Fund, One Ocean Hub project to the University of Cape Town and University of Strathclyde, under the UK, the One Ocean Hub project to the University of Cape Town and University of Strathclyde in 2019, UKRI and the GCRF for One Ocean Hub project to Nelson Mandela University, Port Elizabeth, and Cape Town in 2024, and the World Bank Africa Center of Excellence in Coastal Resilience, ASCOR Professional Internship Award to Santiago, San Vincent, and Santo Antão Islands in Cape Verde in 2024. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me now to touch on some of his funded research projects and consultancies. Professor Agriffin has worked assiduously with various research teams to attract a number of multinational and multi-funded research projects to the University of Cape Coast. Notable among them are the study of extension access and adoption of improved technologies, the client being MOFA, CEDA, Ghana, environmental baseline studies in the western, central, and eastern basins of Ghana, EPA, NORAD, client as the client, the health, social, environmental baseline study in 6 French coastal districts in the western region, the client being any Ghana, under the exploration and production division, the fish hatchery techniques and aquaculture training project for fish farmers under the Tvucc public-private partnership project between the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, UCC, and the Inu and Sun Farms Limited. The Fisheries and Coastal Management Project in the Western Region, which is a USAID technical capacity building project within the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, with USAID being the client during 2014-2020. The UK Research and Innovation Global Challenges Research Fund for One Ocean Hub project, consultancy to develop undergraduate fisheries and aquaculture curricula for the University of Liberia under the World Bank funded initiative, the Ghana Skills Development Fund support for the training of fish farmers, among others, one in collaboration with Lubbock Farms Limited of Winneba, with GSDF as the client in 2024, and the Google Research Grant for computational modeling in marine ecology, fisheries, and climate change in Ghanaian waters, funded by Google between the period 2024 and 2025. On his community and extension services, Professor Aggrey-Finn has since his appointment served on numerous university, national and international boards, statutory and ad hoc committees as a chairman or member. Notable among them, I start with the university boards and committees. Member, Department of Zoology Examinations Board, UCC. Member, University of Cape Coast Academic Board. Patron, Fisheries and Aquatic Science Society of Ghana. Member, School of Biological Science Appointments and Promotions Board. Chairman, Tvucc Hall Council. Member, Committee for Academic. The list goes on and on and on. Member, Board member and reviewer, West African Journal of Applied Ecology. Member, Community Engagement and Dissemination Research Group under the One Ocean Hub Project, among others. On the national front, permit me to touch on some of the national boards and committees he has served on. He has worked as member of the Technical Review Team for Environmental Impact Assessment for Phase 1 development of oil and gas at the Jubilee Field, Ghana in 2009, member of the National Steering Committee and Mabu Fisheries College between 2011 and 2019. Member of the National Steering Committee, West Africa Regional Fisheries Program, WAF, Ghana 2012 to 2016. Member of the awarding panel of First Ghana Energy Awards, Energy Media, co-advisory chair with Ogwa Omahin on Small Pelagic Co-Management Committee, SPCC Central Region 2023 to date. He was also a team member on the committee on the selection of award winners for the 39th National Farmers and Fishers Day celebration. And finally, a member of the Ministerial Committee to develop new academic curricula for the National Fisheries College, Anomabo, in 2025. On international boards, he has served as a member, as one of the 3-member experts in fisheries and aquaculture across Africa, tasked to assess and recommend postgraduate programs for international accreditation for Inter-University Council for East Africa, Uganda in 2025. On family, Professor Joseph Aggrey-Finn is married to Mrs. Judith Aggrey-Finn, and the couple is blessed with 3 lovely children, Pakwesi, Sisi, and Sharon. He is a Christian who fellowships with Ebenezer Methodist Church, Pseudo, in Cape Coast. Thank you very much. I thank you again for your attention.
Mpanyini J. Nkomba sesenyin chia. Damenti. Nananom. Mpanyimfo. Na nkra we hyem wo ha nyinara. Mema wo nyinara akwa abasronko. Meje de semichia. Wanjam ahenawa. Mezam panyimfo nyansa na nyimzi awenmen sam de jolomi. Ink akomi de zomi. Wearing yo condemn alumi. Moko kaswa. Muhunde nzeme bia kaswa. Ma so nzama mamitiri ho aswa. Enti sisi ara seme wo French nyina mi chano bonjour a ojamodo bonsoir. Minya nchamapoto. Onyeda mente poto kasa. Nombo maraba no. Manu miti. Mizum poto. Inti bia na same ya madwen da mropoto wa. Na mapoto no poto. Ana me fra. Santi amfra ofi fra. Inti so rekachi na iya was a brofo fra. In some no ye pi. In some no mo pi udam pampa. Inti nananom mpanyumfo na esua poni mu mpanyumfo hene nyinara hene nsampa. Nokor humma menka na wo paye. Ewiabre ya nananom akasina nkuma no ogwa esua poni mu mpanyumfo na nkwankwa nyinara ehyiam wo hai. Fi obemfo Joseph Aggrey-Finn now pa. Mr. Homo ma obi njema no nsibone de. Meza wori twanompoa. Nombo monyemonto abesokonum. Osane de okobran wo hoi so chapara wo man mbo me ba kwesi bede saweja to wo che na abantene da inchodene nse boguniti sawo ma me ye wugriya incho wasem yi kese wo baazi ahinzi nanyim Jude no kwa chanchana bi ezinewu chiro konkro de obapa wana benya no was a message iyobapa epimboja inesikansu owo iye abe Joseph want to who be biara nchino wo hu aya mfaso ama wukro kwana ebusia Ghana man ina ogwa esuapan owo iye boja to da wu na yemu no ina obazi nyimarebeye mede iye boja to da wu na yemu no na obazi nyimarebeye Joseph enyo wu na wonu anom na kada won ton wo no Joseph enyo wonu anom na wakada won ton wo na Josephine Agre enyo wu na wonu anom wo bo adwenopo wo ho no nananom na mpanyimfo ina wonyim de oba adansefo to echi no obeye kutu dobo indahwe tatampon twerampon obrompon nyankopan za ofa adedam fitir abrompon yan abrompon no ayawo obrompon yanyim de isa so where road primary methodist school or secondary is of course St. John's zekaju nyimzi wulegon nanso shende mo nyamia oya kase na opeje nyimpa ya na kasa obiara insum iya no do akasesam no ayawo kase Joseph kwana de sebreba weti kwarumpo ya fiawo sine busua bi maketesie na nyim no san wa ho fiawo nti daddy se yesre wanyim kobosabo a yenya no mbrodo meba hanu na mu de no kwar onya wan wode okoto wo hwe onwa no ma okoto wo hwe no kwar onwa no ma mpa sekendi zakwadena zibogwai ni nyinara insana achre de iya fantinyi intisa erisa wana fanti dokona Joseph wenyem de ho insa krakra botonyi ihia na pa embun kotodwe ekwano totin o Sunday Joseph Agrifen nentete frifanti eto inomoko wo abozin bur aboa oche ne hunwi ensuruma asase wozo ogbo kwan kwahwehwe agenkwa no ehinam nso a amansa numbi duatsena amansa no hwehwa wodo atena dem brahaban title dua ho no daddy iya amansa na japazo omani rehwa wonanto ne senyu a yesuan omani example be say zafanat pania izini yadane zini yehu nanso obemfo Joseph Agrifen nizinu yehu nizinu yedru damara na nadwen ina ni nyansa musu yedru daddy wona de orunu no ho wona enufunso a yetwi ni mimi ne ho da wona na waja de sekendi mana inda wo ogwa esuapone mu de Joseph worunu no ho wona enufunso a yetwi mimi ne ho da Owo, when you ma ho fiao, in a sirumpo ma rechecher. On yet a man not to bio. Now, Sister Henry Nara, Jaya Jonakor, Nayashe, or Benfo Joseph Agrifina, say in Suman Patapuri a meeting, no do what for a chairman or one Chawano battle. There, founding director of Institute of Oil and Gas, Obienfa. Obienfa Joseph Agrifin. There, founding director of Institute of Oil and Gas, Obienfa. Ozi adisuyenyai one form. Owo a mansan in a half in narrow day. O son day, owo wa gruzin nara isn't wo permanency. Iya putusi Joseph. Owo ponton from bottom amino. Oh, pinsim pinum bottom amino. Oh, and mbrekisi bottom amino. Oh, so one whom would ita unsenyo aye. Yada sa wahum wudo ita unsenyo aye. Owo atra de dembre wonfa abodwesa hu ha enda dai zongo nya abofra no damara so na obe nsum nyimzi wonam ho a wonfa ndanda awoda o sande weja ina wunde fie nyinara no ide nsum inti dembre wonfa abodwesa hu ha wonfa ndanda zongo nya abofra ba no damara so na wonfa nsum nyimzi wonfa ndanda wo Joseph Agri Zayara Karanye Day Iyaduaba Ogwa Dna in a second D. What do waba Bessia Fee Achandachin? Imbone Jumate Daddy Imbone Jumate Imbone Jumapa Imbone Jumapa Imbone Jumapa Imbone Jumapa Emezeme Yabofra Minyini na mimpiri ina mpanyimfo to nsa from there member da obiemfo ezi monfom do biara no ya enfom nanso obiemfo Joseph Agrifin eze no mfom do biara enye enfom damebiri humma yemfansamubo ehrusi Inkikam into some friend Obenfo Joseph Agrifin Obenfo Obenyina ho fiodua Osin suma nsa no benyina wo fra wona ketechipu etia Ensona ebusiam abrantia Osan wa ho brasenti Anoma otu ni nchirefo gu wa mem sanbobo sanso ze number call Obenfo kasa Obenfo kasa ono no onye maame wota na yera atwompona da it is almost as abonsam ye no kra onye ba twompona daddy wonje wuchim osande owo huwo hwei onje wu mizinaranye na nanoma rensam resenyi na nanya akon abronoma anotewa makasa yam brode esusom awo medawana se
Great. Representative of Honorable Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture, MCs, Acting VC, Pro VC, former VCs, and Pro VCs, Registrar, MP Cape Coast North, it should be here, right? Provosts and deans and directors, colleges, or College of Professors, Nananum from Edna Traditional Council, Ugwa Traditional Council, and Anumabo Traditional Council. Directors of MUFA and FC, that's Fisheries Commission, and other organizations. Executives of Fisheries Associations, Chief Fishermen, and Fish Market Queens, international partners, CSOs and NGOs, family and in-laws, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good. When I scan through the crowd, it's very fulfilling and interesting. A lot of faces I haven't seen for over 20 years. They are here today. Thank you so much for coming. Can you project? Good. That's my sweet mother. Today, I want to dedicate this lecture to my late mother, Madam Matilda Tvucc, also known as Abisan. She hails from Elmina. She passed on when I finished my PhD. I came home roughly 2008, and she passed on 2009. But if she's still alive, she will be over 100 years. She instilled Methodist education in me, both formal and informal. She will push you to go to Sunday school in the afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and Bible class in the morning. So I still have that Methodist instinct in me. So you can see that my early formative years, I attended Methodist school. She did so well, and I do appreciate it. She didn't benefit from her sweat so much, but I still appreciate what she did, and I want to dedicate this particular talk to her. Good. This gentleman is called, I call him Uncle Katie. He's a Bushopinion from Tredan Ebusian, Bafo, Tredan Ebusian, Anamabu. I want to dedicate my professorship to Uncle Katie. I believe he's here already. Uncle Katie. Very good. So he's out there. Very good. Uncle Katie, thank you so much. When I get to acknowledgement, I will tell you the full story. If I'm professor today, it's because of Ebusepenyin Katie Dazi from Anumabu. He came in at the right time to fund my trip to Germany to start my master's. And I do appreciate it. Now we have become like brothers. Actually, it's my uncle. Good. The picture you see has so many stories behind. So I am here. I'm with a crew from Elmina. I took this picture in 2000, so roughly 26 years now. I was a young researcher, a master's student, international student from Germany. And I've come to Ghana to conduct studies in the Elmina Fisheries. I actually came to Ghana with two German ladies, white ladies. They were also confused. They didn't know where to go. During our master's program, you were to go out for 6 months, third semester, to conduct your research. I had the opportunity to go to Indonesia for fishery research, Brazil for mangrove research, Red Sea, where they are fighting today, Red Sea for coral reef research. Then I asked myself, if I will go to Indonesia to study fishing, then why don't I come to Ghana and Elmina Cape Coast is just closer to me, and I can save money. So these two Germans were also confused. They didn't know where to go. Sorry. Great. Sorry for a small technical hitch. Yeah, so two German ladies, they also followed me to Ghana because they also want to study the fisheries. So one took the beach seine, the one they put the net. Sorry. Then I decided to look at Elmina fisheries. The other one also looked at something else. I think the cast net fishery in the Tvucc Lagoon. That was the first time I came to Cape Coast. When I went to Elmina, I stood on top of the bridge and I saw the activities at the Elmina Fishing Harbor. I said, wow, this is a laboratory. A lot is going on in that small enclave. Elmina is one of them. Apam is one of them. You can do a lot in those areas. So I decided to look at Elmina fisheries as at 2000. And it got to a point, of course, fishery, the Elmina fisheries, and also some commercial important species in the fishery in Elmina. And I decided on about 3 fish species, but then at a point I have to look at what the fishes eat, the stomach content of the fish. Somebody, what the fish eat, what does it concern you? It's very important. We use it for stock assessment. It's one of the parameters we looked at. And I couldn't get the fish with the correct stomach content. I have to go with them to the sea. Because by the time they catch the fish, they bring it after so many hours, the stomach content would have digested. And so if you are doing any stomach content analysis, you have to get the fish fresh and preserved. So the fishery officer organized this trip for me. This is a semi-industrial boat. It is not a canoe. That time I was scared of canoe. So I requested that if semi-industrial boat will be available, I can join. So we normally set off from Elmina 10 o'clock in the night. I will leave here. I was staying on campus in the village there. So maybe by 9 I will go to Elmina. While away with a friend, he will go and see me off at the harbor. Then by 10 I should be on board. And we set off. I didn't know where we were going. So the first time we started cruising. We get to a point and you hear the engine sound change. Then they are releasing the gear into the sea. So in the darkness, but they know their way. You have a small bulb in it. Small bulb that you can't even see the people here. Then the first straw that came, I got closer to it. I want to pick my samples because they are doing their work. They don't have time for you. Then I started vomiting. So I turned into the sea and I vomited green, pure green. Then you know what they told me? Infante, hey, you wedru. Then I was telling myself, hey, these people, somebody is suffering and they say, hey, you wedru. Those who don't understand Fante, maybe somebody can explain to them. So, but I went with Alvomen. Alvomen is a tablet that normally pregnant women take. So I managed to take 2. Then it sustained me a little bit, but the first day it wasn't easy. So we came back. So we normally come back the following day afternoon. I took my samples to the lab. So I had about 3-4 trips with them. The second trip, it's like the body was okay, manageable. The third trip, no vomiting. I said, I've been baptized as a fisherman. That was the day that I realized that no, now I've become a baptized fisherman. And we move on and on. And I must tell you that those people are professionals. If it is in the academic field, some may be associate professor in oceanography, some may be professors in fisheries. Yes, they know a lot. How even they detect that they should release the gear without any echo sounding system or compass, you'll be surprised. They get to a point, then the bosun, the one in blue shirt, he give command that they should release the gear. And I asked them, how did you know that here is a trawlable? They were doing mid-water and bottom trawl. They have a rod with a nylon rope, and they release it into the water until the thing touches the bottom. They know that they are in the sandy area or not. So that is their echo sounder. Can you believe that? That is technology, eh? Traditional Aprotech. And it is working, it was working for them, and they have been using it to today. And so there are incidents that I think second or third trip, we were on the fishery expedition, and middle of the night, we met storm. Then this boat will go like this, like that, and you could see that the water is almost entering the boat. This is not a canoe boat. And I got scared because I wasn't used to that. For them, they were okay. Then, of course, I started praying my Methodist prayer. Then I was telling myself that, why should I travel all the way from Germany and come and die in Ghanaian waters like that? But within 30, 45 minutes, we left the storm and everything became okay. So these are some of the stories behind this picture. Good. So that is the topic of my lecture. And the topic looks so short, but it is a powerful topic. I was in Cape Verde 2 years ago, then I wrote this lecture. I was lonely on the island, working with some local fishermen. I don't speak Portuguese, I don't speak Creole, but I had field assistants. I was looking into their co-management strategy. They don't have it at all, so I wanted to try and develop one for them, do the baseline study and develop one for them. Then I decided on this. I had 3 versions of this title. When I came down, I discussed with some colleagues, and then we settled on this, but with the same notion. In Cape Verde, I was going around actually for this work, but then I was still also looking around to see whether I can meet 1 or 2 of my ancestors. No, they are also Portuguese, right? They carry some slaves from coastal Ghana, especially Elmina Cape Coast, to the place. So I was looking around. I only saw mulatto people that they don't look like us. But then I saw interesting things. I saw that the sign, the same that we use here for our banku, they are there, exactly the same. I saw ludu. I saw bofrot, togbe. I saw meat pie. I saw apeteshi made from ashir, sugarcane. I said, wow, this is very interesting. They have nice things just like Ghana. I'm sure it is the Portuguese influence. But I didn't see any of my ancestors. But then I took the trouble to really look into this title. So, as we move on, I'll take time to unpack the title. I'll take you through fish and fisheries, and also importance of fisheries. Most of us, we eat fish, but actually we don't know fish, what fish is. You will soon see that you don't know, most of us don't know what is called fish. We will delve into fisheries governance in Ghana, and I will use a benchmark of UNCLOS. UNCLOS is the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea, on the law of the sea. Before and after UNCLOS, what has been the fisheries governance situation in Ghana, then the current status of fisheries, Ghanaian fisheries. I will also look at the contribution to knowledge in fisheries and marine science for the past 25 years that I've been in this field. And I will use the exploitation levels or ratios of some commercial fish stocks in Ghana waters to answer the question that I am asking. Ghana's declining fisheries resources. People end at fisheries. Ghana's declining fisheries resources. Reality or myth? I will use that to answer that question. As VC was reading, he mentioned some funded research projects that have been involved. And since I came here 2002 to now, and I will highlight them with some figures attached. Then, when we discovered crude oil in 2007 in commercial quantities in our waters, Ghana put up a research team from EPA, and I happen to be part of it. we collaborated with the Norwegians to look at the baseline studies in our marine habitat. I'm bringing in this because later I realized that our fisheries is not in a good state, and therefore alternatives are very important. And with this exploration work that we did, it's well documented. We came out with so many things that I strongly believe that the government and all stakeholders can take advantage of some aspect of this exploratory work. So I'm going to give some highlights with small video, short video attached. And then, of course, I can't finish this lecture without giving the ministry, the government, the way forward to save Ghana's fisheries. The minister was supposed to be here, but just at the last minute, she sent me a message that she asked to be out of the jurisdiction. So she has ably represented by the Deputy Director of Fisheries Commission, FC, Executive Director, then our Regional Fisheries Director. So they are all here. And I know they have their paper and pen to take notes for the minister, because minister will take it directly to the cabinet. So this is what I will do. I will prefer some way forward if it can save the Ghanaian fisheries. Thank you very much. So the question I want to ask is, what is a fish? Somebody will say, this man, what do you mean by what is a fish? I mean, we know fish. We have been eating fish since we were born. Yes. This organism you see is called jellyfish. They are organisms in the sea. They carry the name fish. So this one, the answer should be in your head. Don't tell me. If I give you the answer, you mark yourself, whether you are right or wrong. Is this jellyfish a fish or it's not a fish? Keep it to yourself. The answer is, it is not a fish. You see? It carries the name fish, but it is not a fish. This is lobster. Is it a fish or it's not a fish? You see, you are confused. As you are moving up, it's becoming serious and difficult. Lobster is a crustacean. It is not a fish. Somebody say, this man, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. It is a crustacean. It is not a fish. The next one. This is great white shark. It is a fish. This is a fish. The next one. This is Sardinella madurensis, the flat sardine, commonly called. It is a fish. Very good. The next one. This is barracuda. It is a fish, but it died some years ago. But it is still a fish. It's a skeleton of barracuda. The next one. So that's the real barracuda swimming. This is also a fish. Great. So now, let's see whether I was lying, I was giving wrong apple, or you were rather wrong. So, what is fish? Fish is an aquatic vertebrate. Of course, the organisms I showed, they were all aquatic vertebrates. They were all aquatic organisms, but not all of them are vertebrate. The lobster I showed you, the shrimp, the crabs, they are all crustaceans. They are invertebrate. So, they don't fit in the fishery category. With gills, a fish should have gills. Of course, lobster has gills. And limbs in the shape of fins. It doesn't have fins. So it doesn't fit in this definition. Somebody's definition, Nelson, 1994. So we can't classify lobster as fish. But just be careful. Later you'll find that they are not fish per se, but they are fisheries resources. So crab, koto, is a fishery resource. Tympanotonus fuscata, apofin, that's the name of apofin. It is not a fish, but it is a fisheries resources. As we move on, whales, they are in the sea. They have lungs, they breathe like us. They are mammals. So they are not fishes, but then they are fisheries resources. If you go to Scandinavia, Japan, and other places, they exploit whales. The second definition is talking about the same thing. Here they are using big scientific word, poikilothermic. A fish should be poikilothermic, which means cannot hold a temperature warmer than the environment. It's the environment temperature that controls the body temperature. So if you are like that, it qualifies you to be a fish. Aquatic chordate. Aquatic chordate means that they are vertebrate. So a fish should be vertebrate, with appendages developed as fins. They have fins whose chief respiratory organs are gills. They breathe through gills. Because the amount of oxygen that is in the water, if you use lungs to breathe, it will not work. You will die. But gills are specially designed apparatus that they can exchange oxygen, no matter the amount of oxygen, how small it is, they can exchange and give out carbon dioxide in the water. So whales will always come up at the surface and breathe the oxygen in the air, and they go back into the sea, and they spend some days, or if not months, because they are mammals. They are not fishes. Good. Now let's look at fishery. What is fishery? Fishery is the exploitation by human communities. What we take, those of us taking fish stocks from the sea, we can describe it as fishery. So it is not only the fish like sardine, tuna that we are taking that makes it fishery, but then if you exploit any resource from the sea or from the water body, it is a fishery. No, I haven't finished. Go back. Using various capture methods for commercial purposes, subsistence and recreational purposes. That is, various methods means that you can use cast net, you can throw, you can do beach seine, you can do hook and line. They are all methods. You can even catch with your hand. It is a fishery method. Then for commercial, you are making money. It's business. So fishing is business. Or subsistence, that is hand to mouth. You catch small, and then you use part of it to do butter trading for oil ingredient to cook, but you don't sell to make money. That is subsistence. And recreational purposes, for sports. In fact, in Ghana here or Africa, whatever we catch, we eat. Elsewhere, it's not like that. I was in US, specifically Norfolk, the Virginia state, and as part of my work, I go out with the fishery officers from my lab. We go to where they do sports fishing. When you go, there is a freezer. When they get no matter how big the fish is, they come and put it in the freezer. It's just for sports. Then what we do is that we pick it into our ice chest, we bring it to the lab, we do all the morphometric measurement, taking fish length, fish weight for stock assessment. Then we extract the stone in the head called otolith for stock assessment purposes. Then the rest of the actual fish, we put it back into the freezer. One day I was there, then a Ford van came behind the lab. A white man with a big stomach with ice chest. Then I asked my lab colleagues, what is he coming to? He says, the fishes that we worked on, they are coming to pick them, take it to the shelters. They are Salvation Army people. They are going to use it to cook for those living in the shelter. I say, wow. That is very good. Because it's a good fish, big fish. Yeah, maybe you will turn it to more money or something, but over there, they use it to cook. Yeah, so that is about the fisheries. That's right. Good. We can also describe fisheries or differentiate fisheries based on the species that you are exploiting, the gear that you are using, the habitat in which the fish lives, or level of sophistication of the fishery that is being practiced. So with the species, you can, if you are going after tilapia, then you call that fishery tilapia fishery. If you are going after oysters, it's oyster fishery. If you are going after tuna, then tuna fishery. So that is how we describe fishery. If it is the gear, if you are using beach seine, then you can describe the fishery as beach seine fishery. Cast net, the one they throw the net, is the cast net. You can describe it as cast net fishery. If it is the habitat in the marine, then you call it marine fishery. If it is a lagoon, lagoon fishery. Pelagic is the water column, or it can be freshwater fishery. Level of sophistication, if you are still using the traditional methods to fish, that is the artisanal fishery, which you see in Elmina and other places. If it is the a little sophisticated one where you have the inboard engine and the rest, we call it semi-industrial fishery. And of course, where you have the blast freezers and those things on board, with the winches and the rest to pull the gear, then we call it industrial fishery. Ghana, we are practicing all the 3 levels of fishery. Good. So these are the introduction. Now, visitor, according to Kwajosi, 2009, Ghana was noted as a leading fishing nation in the West African sub-region in the early 1950s through to the late 1970s. With their fishing fleets ranging as far as the coast of Angola to Mauritania. Therefore, Ghana depends heavily on her coastal and marine resources for food, livelihoods, and other benefits. Currently, the fishing sector is known to provide a livelihood of almost 3 million Ghanaians, either directly or indirectly associated or engaged with fisheries. VC mentioned that. Because even I strongly believe that now we are a little over that. Because they always say that we are the fishing population, those who are involved in fishing, either directly or indirectly. The period from the late 1950s through the 1960s to the late 1980s could be considered the golden years of Ghana's marine fisheries. It has been published and it's all over, Cranton, 1984 and the rest. The period recorded constant increases in the number of vessels in all sectors of the fishing industry. You can give examples. Few examples I can give now is the motorization of vessels were increased in the 1960s. Opening of Tema Fishing Harbour gave further impetus for growth in the fisheries. In fact, the registered motorized vessels, that's the inshore boats, increased from 193 in 1960 to 315 by 1974, the period of 14 years. We had astronomical increase in our boats, motorized boats in Ghana. It goes on and on and on and on. The notion that Ghana has limitless fish stocks and there wasn't any major conservation plan put in place at that period to control or regulate fishing vessels in the industry, coupled with constant increase in fish landings year after year, was the beginning of fisheries decline in Ghana. Mr. Chair, the political terrain in the 1960s and 1970s might have contributed immensely to the Ghana marine fisheries decline. Governments of this period felt under pressure to produce rapid economic results and major social improvements, and hence were unwilling to take any stand that might be considered unpopular or has attempt to frustrate Ghanaian economic enterprise. It's the same thing we are doing with gold now at that time. This political environment fostered all kinds of negative practice, resulting in gross maladministration and management in the fisheries sector. Apparently, the few successful ventures created a view or impression of high profit potential and an atmosphere of over-optimism, which drew the interests of not only Ghanaian investors but also of foreign investors into the sector. Vice Chair, all these contributed to the over-exploitation of Ghana's marine fish stock. Now, the state of Ghana fisheries after UNCLOS. God, stay there. These post-UNCLOS legislation show an increasing awareness of the need for conservation, with latter ones going to greater lengths to achieve the objective. To achieve this objective, the trend began with the passing of the Maritime Zones Law. This law established jurisdiction over the EEZ. EEZ is the exclusive economic zone, making it possible to determine exactly what is to be conserved and in what areas these measures are needed. The PNDC Law 256 of 1991 was then passed to begin the process of conservation effort. It tried to do this through licensing. So that was the time they introduced licensing in fishing, a widely used and recommended method to control access to the resource. In effect, the major aim of the PNDC Law 256 was to manage or conserve the fishery resource by controlling access through licensing, establishment of fishing zones, and restriction on fishing gear to be used within and without these zones and in the industry as a whole, and establishment of monitoring, control, and surveillance, that is MCS. It goes on and on. Then we had Fisheries Act 256. It came with some restrictions and management measures, and currently, as at July 2025, we came out with a new fine act, that is Act 1146, which is the Fisheries and Aquaculture Act. This is currently in use. The new act introduces bold reforms aimed at
ensuring sustainability, compliance, and improved livelihood among fishers. The legislation, which was passed by Parliament in July 2025, as I said, represents a transformative step toward building a sustainable, equitable, and economically viable fisheries sector that meets international standards. Some of the highlights in Act 1146 include establishing fully autonomous Fisheries Commission. Fisheries Commission directors are here. Now you are going to be autonomous, fully autonomous. Strengthening legal and regulatory framework, safeguarding seafood exports, which goes into millions of dollars. Introducing stricter penalties against illegal fishing. Enhanced protection of fisher folks. They need protection. Recently, we know what happened on the sea. And expansion of the inshore exclusive zone, IEZ. It has been increased from 6 nautical miles to 12 nautical miles, is to safeguard the work of the artisanal fishery. Now let's look at some. Very good. This graph is giving us an overall overview of the fish production, fish and seafood production in Ghana from the 1960s. It looks as if we are doing well. It's like it's moving up, and in the late, that is 2021 going, we are landing in total about 453,000 metric tons and over, and so on and so forth. The next slide. But in reality, if you look at the details, it doesn't look that nice or increasing. This is from Morocco, Mauritania, Senegal, and Gambia. I'm looking at their Sardinella fishery, and it looks as if they are doing a little better than Ghana. And the next graph. This is Ghana. Let's come back home. This is Sardinella production. Sardinella, the Eben, Emani, how you call it in the language. From 1960s right down, we were doing well until 2005. It dropped significantly. And since 2005 to date, so roughly how many years? 20 years, right? It has been very low. For the flat sardine, it has been like that. We know. But the round sardine, Sardinella aurata, it has dropped from 2005, and since then, it is very low, and it's becoming lower and lower. And let me give you the background of Sardinella aurata. When you talk of Sardinella aurata, it is the backbone of our fisheries. Emani, or Eben, here we say Eben. It is the backbone of our fisheries. When you say that it's backbone of it, that is, it is holding the fisheries. And so the fishermen will tell you, chief fishermen and the rest, they are here, they will tell you that they recoup their investment in the fisheries when it gets to Inaugural time, June, July, August. 2 years ago, I was part of the committee, small committee that went around to select national best fisherman. We went to Tvucc, and one particular fisherman, he has about 11 canoes. And he was saying that he used to bag 300,000 Ghana cedi per Mara season, June, July, August. That is the profit. He has taken all his expenditure. He gets 300,000. Professor Stanley, I've never seen that money before. 300,000. But fisherman, one particular season, so when the fishing was good, Mara time, from the Sardinella, which means for Sardinella to drop drastically and continuously 20 years, it has actually affected the business of fisheries. That is the truth. And you ask yourself, what is the cause? Did it happen just like that? Nothing happened just like that, as we know. And what we know from science is that the water conditions have been changing from our part of the world. Fishes also feel heat. So as the climate is changing, those of us in the tropic close to the equator, the fishes are becoming warmer. And for them, to stay in the warm environment without, what do you call it? They don't need passport to even move to Canada, Senegal, mention wherever they can go, then they can comfortably move. In Ghana, most youth, I'm sure, if they don't need visa to go to certain places, I don't want to mention some country, they will just flock to those areas. So the same applies to the fish. They don't need passport. They only need ambient condition for which they can survive. And so, strongly believe that with this observation, some fishes have started moving. It is clear that the Canary Current, where Senegal, Mauritania, and those countries are found, the sardinellas are doing well in the waters. And so, studies shows that for the fish production, especially the sardinella, has gone down. It is affecting the business of the fishermen. So the fishermen, they buy what? Fuel to go out there to fish. They buy ice blocks for their own. These are all investment. So what is happening is that because they go and they don't get the right amount of fish for them to defray their cost, then study shows that some of them have resorted to all sorts of illegalities. And it is affecting the fish stocks, it is affecting their livelihood, it is affecting the water environment. I brought in anchovies just to see whether we can find something different. The same story. Anchovy is also one of the small pelagics, and it is also dropped in a way, and it is not encouraging at all. The next slide. Now, I want to explain this model, exploitation model, for you to understand. It's a simple model but very weighty. I will do my best to explain for everybody to understand. Then I can move on to prove to you what is meant by Ghana's declining fisheries, resources, reality or myth. This is a model most top scientists have used all over the world. Daniel Pauly, 1980, has used this model, the exploitation model, and it was here somewhere last year or two, right? Viti? Pauly was here. He's one of the top fisheries scientists in the world. He visited us. He spent some time with us. I've also used this model to do some stock assessment. And the Y only denotes exploitation ratio or level of fish stock. So if you are dealing with sardinella, you can calculate their Y, the exploitation ratio or exploitation level. The F you see up here, it is the fisheries mortality. If you take the fish from the water, you are causing mortalities. They will die. So that is the F. You can easily obtain that because I can go and measure the crate of fish, the specific fish in Elmina, Apam, Cape Coast, and Mabo, then do some morphometrics, and I'll get the F. But then the Z, which is the total mortality, it is a component of F and M. M is the natural mortality of the fish. When the fish are in the natural environment, they die naturally by getting diseases just like any organism. And also, disasters can cause some mortalities, natural disasters like tsunami and the rest. And so that mortality, we are not there to measure, but then we can use statistical models. Professor Howard, don't sleep. I'm talking about your models. Statistical models, I know it teaches those statistics to determine M. But these are difficult statistics that you must be mathematically inclined to understand it. But I've simplified it. When you put these two together and you do this ratio, F over M, you get Y value. The Y should be in the range. If it is ratio 0 to 1, if it is percentage that you multiply by 100, then you can have from 0 to 100. I prefer the 0 to 1. And if the Y falls in the middle, that is between 0 to 1, it is 0.5, then we say the fishery is optimally exploited. If it falls below 0 to 5, 0.5, it is underexploited. So that stock is underexploited. You can't see from here, but then if it is more than 0.5, then it is overexploited. With this understanding, can we move on? Now, I give the contribution to knowledge in fisheries and marine science. Next one. I'm dwelling on the exploitation ratios of some common fish species in Ghanaian waters that I have worked on, and also I work with my postgraduate. The names are very thick and big, as VC said, so I'll be moderate. The next one. I have generously given the English name. These are easy to pronounce. A reefua is called grey triggerfish. The scientific name is Balistis capricus. Balistis capricus. But the English name is grey triggerfish. We determine its exploitation at 0.27. It means it is underexploited. It is underexploited because the time I was doing this work, Balistis reefua has already vanished from our waters. I've determined the reasons and the causes of that. What do you call it? They left or they disappeared in our waters. But that is not the topic for today. But the yield was very low. Then, Galeodis decadactylus. These are the laser African threadfin. It is also 0.5. Spherana, that's the barracuda. It has a nice name. Spherana. And Agrifin and Hotor is my postgraduate student. We determined that its exploitation ratio is 0.6, which is, it is overexploited. Ido is overexploited. Again, Guinea shrimp, the name is big, so myself, I always run away from it. It is 0.43, which is doing well. I also did this work with some postgraduate students. Royal spiny lobster, that's the Panulirus regius. Its exploitation rate is so low, is very high, that is 0.74. It is overexploited. So if you are eating lobster, you know that you are contributing to the overexploitation of lobster in Ghanaian waters. I know it is a high-priced fishery resource. Then, reborn fish. Reborn fish is one union. That is the Triclus lepturus. It is also overexploited. I did this work with Amado. She was my postgraduate student. Then, again, it's another snapper. It's also overexploited. Lejanus fogus. The golden African snapper, very sweet. If you go to a restaurant, you order for snapper, mostly that's what they will give you. It's also overexploited. So it goes on and on. The sepia herida, most of us, we like what they call posnap, is actually a cuttlefish. Cuttlefish is overexploited. I did this work with Pearl Sechijan, one of my postgraduates. It's 0.5, so it's beyond 0.5. You see that most of these commercially important fishes that we always go after, we always enjoy, they are overexploited in our waters based on this model. The red fishes, the Dentes species, Dentes canariensis, Dentes gibbosus, Pagrus carolotis, these are all red fishes, what we call wiru. They are also overexploited. Look at it, 0.73 and so on and so forth. The Sardinella, Eben we are talking about, is also overexploited, 0.76. The next slide. So it goes on and on. The currants, they are all overexploited up to Coroscombus chrysaorus. And so the names are big, so let me leave you here, right? All right, let's go on. Yeah, so now with the names, I want to show you some of the pictures so that once you see the picture, those of you who are not from coastal town, you will know that you may get confused and you this man, why is he giving us this heavy name this afternoon? So this is the river I was talking about, triggerfish. It used to be very popular with Ghanaians, even though we were bluffing that time. We said, oh, this is a low-grade fish, and by the time we got used to it and wanted to taste it, it vanished. It vanished. It's a reef fish, but they are still in Florida, they are still in parts of Côte d'Ivoire, and I will explain why we find it more in La Côte d'Ivoire waters. So, my research shows that they move out of Ghanaian water. It was not overfished. Because as at 1987, we landed about 500,000 metric tons in our water. The following year, they vanished. And when it happened like that, it cannot be overfishing. They must have moved to different locations. So I've published about 3 papers on it. The shrimps are doing quite well. It's likely they are adapted to certain suitable conditions in our water, so their exploitation values haven't reached the 0.5 yet. Go on. This is the red snapper. And then the Triclus lepturus, that's the one we know. And then the Lujanus fulgens. These are all overfished. Look at the ye. 0.71. Seriously overfish. The same applies to this one, 0.75. Next one. This is the sepia I was talking about. I work on with my postgraduate students, and it's also overfish, 0.5. And when we are going to Mankesim, around Ija, we see it nicely fried, and I see people stopping and buying. I say, you are contributing this overfishing. Anyway, it tastes good. I also like that. But whenever I'm eating some of these fishes, I'm very careful. The barracuda is also overfished. Plus, this is also a type of snapper. And then the polylimide fish. They are all overfished. Next one. The red fishes, we call them sparrows or the dented species. I work on with my postgraduates and a PhD student, and we realize that all of them are overfished in our waters. Let's go on. Yeah. Again, we've done some analysis to see whether the power in our vessels that are going after these fishes have improved or increased over the years. And we did this work with our UK partners on the One Ocean Hub project, and we realized that, yes, over the years, the fishing power has gone up. The sophistications in the gear that we use to fish has improved. And therefore, obviously, they will land more fish. But where the fish is not there, and they've gone out there, spend hours, spend millions of or thousands of Ghana cedi, fuel, whether premise or whatever, pay for the crew. They've gone with their kenke and the rest, Dokunumbo or Garimbo. And for them to come on land with empty, and some of them would definitely resort into some unacceptable practices to get the fish. But it is not good. It is actually affecting the fish stock. We've done some stock assessment, not only in the Ghanaian waters, but we have extended it to adjacent waters, that is Togo, Benin, and also Ivory Coast, on the One Nation Hub project, using the SECAF data. And the story is the same for the pelagics, the next one, and the demersals. They are all overfished. Let's move on. I mentioned otolith from the beginning. Otolith are stones in the fish herd. They are not just stones. They are likened or equivalent to what we call the black box in an aircraft. Yes. So the day that the fish is hatched or born, it starts moving in its environment, playing so many roles. Then this calcium carbonate called otolith start forming. So as the fish move from, let's say, freshwater to marine water like this, you can easily decode that information when you take the otolith and process it. And every fish species has a unique shape of otolith. So what I have done is to extract otolith for various fish species in our waters. I have described them and published them, but then only few has been used to age the fish. We can use the otolith to age the fish to do stock assessment. But people don't like working on otolith because it is a tedious process. So currently what I'm doing is that we are using AI techniques to see whether we can use laser techniques to decode the information in these black boxes in each fish head and back calculate the age and use it for stock assessment. It's not that easy, but the IT guys and the laser physics people are here. They are expertise in those techniques. Let's move on. Yes, this is called Ghana Fisheries Projection Model that we have developed under our project One Ocean Hub. We have introduced this app to the Ministry of Fisheries and also Fisheries Commission. They have given their input. All that the model is saying is that we have certain amount of effort going after the fish stocks in Ghana waters. Be it outboard motors that you have out there, be it gears, be it canoe vessels going out there. There's a number to it. You have done the inventory, we know. So if it is 100% that we have, if we decide to reduce this number because the fishes are not there, so What are those vessels doing? What are they going after? Why don't we reduce the number of these vessels so that we can start to rebuild our stock? So it is a model. You can create certain scenarios and see how best it can help you to recover your fish stocks. So if you take all the gears as 100% and reduce by 50% for a 10-year period, what will be the effect? You can also change it. If you take all the gears as 100% and reduce by 30% for 5 years, what will be the effect? But this particular one, I did it for 50, reduce by 50% and then for a 10-year period, and let's see the effect. The next slide. The effect is that for various fish species that we claim it has collapsed, the gray aspect are the real data we use. The pink or red aspect is the projection for the next 10 years. All of them, you could see that the graph is what? Moving towards the mid, that is going up, going up, going up. It tells you that if you should take that bull by the horn and reduce number of fleets, it could be canoes, it could be industrial vessels, by half for the next 10 years, our fisheries will recover. But it is not as simple as that. Let's be cautious. Those 50 boats or canoes that you are going to take off the sea, what will you be doing with those people? Do we have any intervention programs for them? It has social economic implications. So it will be difficult for government to easily say that, oh, I'm cutting the canoes or vessels by 50% for the next 10 years and see what will happen. The fishermen, some of them, they have 2 wives, 13 children. How will they take care of them? It will be difficult. It will be difficult. Yeah, so we have to be cautious. The next slide. In terms of revenue too, the same model will show some increase in revenue. It would have improved the revenue of a fisherman more than what they are earning now. But as I said, it has socio-economic implications that we cannot just roll it out. So we have presented to the government. If the government wants to take us as consultants, we can also think for him. Take this to the minister and minister take to cabinet. That we are prepared to use our brains to think for him how best he can bring alternatives to our fishermen. Those they think that they can leave the fishing business. In fact, the fishing business is not sweet again. They will tell you, the chief fishermen are here. When they finish, you ask them whether the business is as sweet as before. All right, let's move on. Now, our department realized that at the SHS or JHS level, people don't have much interest in aquatic sciences and wetland and coastal studies. But there are a lot of opportunities in this area. So we developed manual for the JHS teachers and the pupils themselves. And we partner with Yempuano. Yempuano is an NGO. They are doing well in Ghana here. And we introduced some clubs that will shape up interest in wetland studies, coastal research and fisheries. But I don't know whether these clubs are still there. We did this way back 2015, thereabout. That's one. Now, since I came here 2002 to now, I've contributed in bringing some good amount to UCC and Ghana for research, and some are the Mofa Cedar research we did in 2010, about $10,000, which I was a co-investigator. It was about agri accessibility of technology. But I was looking at the aquaculture. The environmental baseline studies in the western and central eastern basin of Ghana, when we discovered oil, it was based in EPA. I was part of the investigators, and it was a big money. That is oil for development project, about $100 million US. It didn't stay here. It stayed with EPA and Norwegians. We also had a ENI. ENI is an oil company, Italian oil company. They were prospecting for gas in Ghanaian waters. We had a consultancy in UCC with some colleagues around, and it was about $75,000 US in 2010-2011. We did it in the 6th French district in the western, Jomoro up to Shaman district. We also had some funds to work with Enu Ansa, partner with Enu Ansa Farm. It's a private businessman. Enu Ansa, Jacob must be here somewhere. Aha, he's waving. He's a businessman and he understands fishery at Tvucc very well. So he had some farms at Ochrekun. So we partnered with him, we developed manual, and we trained about 300 fish farmers. Some came from outside Ghana, Sierra Leone, and we have trained ex-police officers, we have trained former vice-chancellors. We want them to go into, yes, Winneba former vice-chancellor joined us to come and learn. Some lecturers here joined us to go into tilapia fish farming. And we did well with that. The next one. Our department also had some funds from USAID 2014, 2020, amounting to about $5.5 million US to build capacity in fisheries. We had equipment to support the work of government in UCC. GMPC, UCC, I became the first director to establish the Oil and Gas Institute. Initially, it was just a committee, and Professor Kukula, I don't know whether he's here, he charged me that, Joe, he normally call me Big Joe. He said, Big Joe, oil is found in the Western region. UCC is very close to Western region. I'm appointing you director. I said, VC, give me money to set up the... I said, no. Go out there, there's money there. Go and bring it. So I was just giving pottery some to buy furniture for the office. I had my staff, and every day I was moving around like I've lost my novel. Right? I was going from one company to company, and finally, before I left office, we have signed $1 million US with GMPC to establish petroleum chair. That is petroleum commerce at the Institute for Oil and Gas. I know that money came, and the director that came after me used it judiciously. The last batch didn't come, so we are appealing to the government that please bring the last batch. It's supposed to come $250,000, $250,000. The last one didn't come, please. Those of us who are closer to GMPC, please appeal to them to bring us our last tranche. All right. Then, our landmark research with the UK, RI, and GCRF was 20 million pounds sterling. Can you believe that UK government putting in 20 million for research? I know about 2 million came to UCC, 2 million pounds sterling, for us to use it for research, and the rest stayed in UK. But it was a collaboration with the University of Strathclyde, University of Cape Town, University of Cape Coast, with some experts from Winneba joining us, and 2 universities from South Pacific, Fiji Island and also Solomon Island. Next one. It goes on and on. We have also developed fisheries and aquaculture curriculum for University of Liberia, amounting to about $45,000 from World Bank. We have done the Ghana Skills Development Fund training at Winneba with Lubbock. Lubbock, Mr. Butcher should be here. Lubbock Farms. And we train fish farmers in that vicinity, about 600,000 Ghana cedi. Then Google Research, which is very small amount, about 7,000 last year. Let's move on. Now, I want to take you to the sea. Now we have understood that the major fish stocks we have been overexploited. Do we have any kind of alternatives for our fishermen in case they are going out of business? Let's see what we found. This vessel is a Norwegian vessel that I've used for gone out there for about 5 or 6 times. It's called Dr. Fridtjof Nansen. They built this vessel purposely for Africa. They do exploration in African water. When I say Africa, I start from Morocco through down to Senegal to Cote d'Ivoire. Normally we share stocks with Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin. Then to go to Nigeria, Sao Tome, and the rest. It goes on and it goes to the other side of Africa, eastern coast of Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, and the rest. But now it is sold. They have brought in a new one, very modern vessel, but I use this one to do most of my survey. So, when we discovered oil, so we were to look at what we have in our waters, the water conditions, the organisms that we have, not only the fish, including the fish, all right, but then other organisms that we have in, because all along we don't know what we have in our waters. The fishes that we are catching are just the surface or the ones in the upper trophic level. Even those down there, we don't know. And so we went as far as the rig. We met some fishermen on the sea. These guys were speaking Fanti. We were far away from Ghana, but they told me that they are from Commander. They were speaking Fanti. I got to know that they are from Commander. Yes? So we have gone as far as the rig to take sample. Again, this is the coast of Ghana. So this is the western side. So you can see Princess Town, Axim, and so on, Bonyere. Bonyere was supposed to be the point where the gas pipe should terminate from Jubilee. Something happened and they changed it to Atwabo. But Bonyere is so far away from. So at the time we were doing this work in 2009, that's the day 2009, we had Transset hitting the Bonyere coast. And then that's the GP is the Ghana pipe, so gas pipeline. GW is the Ghana West. GE is the Ghana East, but only in the western region. So we divided the Ghana coast into 3 basins. The western basin up to Shama, the central basin from Shama up to Winneba, and then the eastern basin from Accra Tema to Aflao. So this is showing just the western basin. And we had these are points that we're taking samples. We can go there today with the GPS to locate these points and take. So before we started pumping oil 2010, we were to do a lot of studies in these points, be it water parameters, be it organisms, up to about over 1,000 meters, because the Jubilee was at 1,700, 1,500, 1,700 meters depth. So we were to go there. That's why you saw the rig. We went close to the rig, but you have to take permission. You can't just go there to take samples. And we have done all these things. Move on. Yes. So what happened was that in 2009, the first samples we took, we saw something that looks strange in our waters. So as I'm standing here, that I was a young man, so so this is a Russian scientist who is a bathymetrist. Bathymetrist means that on land we call them surveyors, but in the sea or water, if you do surveying, it's called bathymetry. So we were discussing, middle of the night, we were discussing the result that we are seeing on the echo sounders. So this vessel has what you call multi-beam survey, multi-beam scanners under it. You don't see it. But as the vessel moves, it scans the bottom of the sea. So these tracks you see, you can see some lines. These are the tracks of the vessel. The next one. And after processing the data, that time we didn't have expertise in Ghana. That's what it made us understand. I'm an oceanographer, I'm not a bathymetrist, but then I understand what we were doing. So we took this data to Norway, because it was their money that we used. The 100 million, whatever you saw, is Norwegian Noran. And Noran is sponsored by Statoil, their state oil company. And so, this is the bottom structure of the Jubilee area. That is how it looks. And we saw this strange, or I would say interesting feature. We didn't know what it is. We zoomed to it. That is what you see. It looks like a ridge, something lifting up from the bottom of the sea. And its dimensions are under the depth is about 400 meters depth. It stretches about 1,400 towards Côte d'Ivoire direction meters. It is elevated 70 meters, and the temperatures are very low, 9 to 10 degrees Celsius, very cold. Next. Then, we still didn't understand what we were seeing. So, the following year, up to 2012, we brought in this equipment. We call it ROV, Remote Operated Vehicle. Now, Jubilee, we see that they are laying pipes under the water, and nobody goes there to lay the pipe. They use ROV. So you can always adapt this ROV. This is just a case. And we have our robotic AI equipment sitting in it. So it will carry it to the bottom of the sea. It has some graphs that is remotely operated on board. So we sit in the lab on vessel and we control it. There are experts in that they brought from Norway. The same applies if they want to weld a gas pipeline that is busted under the sea. Nobody will go there. Now, the technology has improved. They use these robotic machines to do the welding. So that's why when we got the oil and they said, we have a lot of welders in Kokompe, but they are not employing them. Kokompe welders cannot do this work. You need technology. You should be an expert to do it. So I will show just 2-minute video on that, what we did, and then I will continue. Thank you. The sound. Don't worry. So that is very short video. These organisms are all coming from our waters. Some of them, we have never seen them before. Some of them, we have not even named them. You saw a big fish trying to swim. We are yet to name it. We don't know. Normally, the name should take a Latinized form. So if they decide to name after Agrifin, it will be, we are looking at Obolobo. So Oboloboensis or Agrifiensis. So, because we have fishes that are called Atacurensis in our freshwater. We have a fish called Acraensis. Because it was found in Accra. So it will not be out of the way it is named after Agrifiensis. You will never know. I pray they do. Let's move on. Just to show you a few pictures. These are some of the water parameters we have taken. This is a scanner, what do you call it? A probe that takes temperature and other parameters. As it moves down, you register it on a, what do you call it, computer. So we know all the temperature profiles, pH profiles, and the rate in our waters. This is a graph called Van graph. It can go to any depth to take sediment. We take samples for chemistry, for biology. We wash the sediment on board to get what we want and bring it to the lab to analyze. This is a water sampler. It is already set before it goes into the water, and you give a remote command, and whichever depth that it is, 500 meters there, 1,000 meters there, it closes to grab water for you and bring it on board for other analysis, which we have done in all those points I showed you. Yes, whether rain or shine, we work on board. When sometimes it's raining and you have to put on jackets to work, we work with all sediment. Some of the sediment, because of the depth that it comes from, when you hold it, you have to leave it because it's very, very cold. Like you are holding ice. So which in beyond certain depth, the temperatures are very, very cold in the sea. Let's move on. Good. Now, the way forward. I can't give all this talk without giving the way forward to the stakeholders. It's not only the, what do you call it, the ministry or the government, but also the practitioners. All of us, we need to see how best we can bring our fisheries back. So let's move on. we mentioned illegalities. We call them IUU fishing. I said IUU fishing must stop. The Fisheries Commission, the government, if nothing at all, you should reduce it to the barest minimum. Because the IUU, it is not a good word for our fisheries. A lot of practices are going on. The practitioners know, the Ministry of Fisheries, they know, Fisheries Commission, they know what is happening. But because we are not able to police our waters 100%, we are not able to really deal with that. But it must stop. If the fish stocks are going down, you as a practitioner, you are also affected. So I don't think it is the best practice. And when I say IUU, that is illegal, unreported, unregulated. When you use small mesh size to fish, it's an IUU. If you catch juvenile fish that you're not supposed to catch, it is an IUU. If you use explosives to fish, it is an IUU. If you use noxious chemicals to fish, I don't want to mention some of them here, but some of the things they are using to catch fish for us, it is not healthy for the environment itself and also for our human body. Government should operationalize national fisheries calendar. Yesterday, our platform minister is there. Somebody was asking, how far is our documents that we worked on last November, December? It went to cabinet. How far? The response I got from the platform, from the minister herself, is that it has gone through cabinet. They are waiting for parliamentary approval, which means Fisheries College will soon come into fruition. Let's clap for minister before. I know she will hear that we are clapping for her, wherever she is. Again, UCC. We have been given the nod to establish African Ocean Institute. Most of us, we have heard it on air. We have gone far with it. It's going to be a unique institute on the continent. Its likes are in Germany, Norway, and the rest. What you have on the African continent, I think we want to make a difference, and we have the capacity to do that. And so, GTEC recently gave us approval to set it up. We have done the media engagement. We are going to launch it in Accra very soon, before July. And we are calling for all donor supporters, the government himself, to come to our aid. And we want to change the face of fisheries, coastal research, and so on in Ghana and the entire African continent. The new Fishery Act at 1146 has so many nice things that we can use to conserve our fish and improve our fish stocks. So we have to be strict in enforcing the Fishery Commission. I know you need everybody's support. You can't do it alone. You don't have enough officers on the field. But the practitioners should know that if they continue to do fishing in the old way that they do fishing, then they should know that their livelihood will one day come to a halt. I wouldn't like to see the livelihood coming to a halt, because I was told that my grandfather in Elimina was a fisherman. I didn't see him. Maybe Bishop Penny is here. Maybe when I finish, you can ask him that. My grandfather, what type of fishing was he doing? But I'm sure that time they were doing sustainable fishing. Yes, I'm sure. And so we have to strictly enforce the provisions in the new act. It's a fine act, but we need to enforce them. Again, we have to make conscious efforts to also introduce Ghanaians to, that is, for Ghanaians to make conscious, to change the taste that they have. See, we like the snappers, the squids, the shrimps. Can we change it to other fish species that are also doing well in our waters? They are all protein-based. So it's up to our, the Tvucc people, vocational and the caterers, to introduce us to new recipes that goes with, what do you call it? Tympanotonus fuscata, apophy. They believe that in Fanti they use apophy to do stew, which is not possible. And I wonder how you can kiss it. So there are lesser known fishes that we can start exploring. Then we leave the snappers and the squids to rest a little. Also, we have to develop an enhanced blue economy. The video I showed shows a lot of opportunities, especially blue tourism, for instance. I was in Cape Verde and I realized that one coast that we visited, San Pedro, on South Vincent Island. Tourists come, they take the traditional canoe, their canoes are fiberglass. They go to about 5 kilometers, and the tourists, they dive into the water and they swim with turtles. And they told me the amount they pay, just 30 minutes to go and swim with the turtles and come. It's a lot of business there. Can we start doing something like that, similar? Because Pampram, we also have turtles there. What do you call it? We have whales and then dolphins in the from Winnipeg towards Western region. Can we do some whale watching or dolphin watching for tourists? Last time I was mentioning that geographers always disagree with me that we have georeference. Have we done georeferencing? The 0 latitude and 0 longitude meet in our waters. When you go there, it's only buoys that they have put there. It is giving some satellite data to NOAA. We haven't popularized it. We haven't made noise about it. A cruise vessel landing in Elmina, tourists will fly all over the world from Accra. They take, if the road is good, they will take car to Elmina and they will take this cruise vessel only to go and see the middle of the earth. Whether it is the middle true or not, we know that 00 passes there. So that we can earn some money. But we are just sitting down, then we are only exploiting the fish. This industry can employ fishermen. I'm sure they are sailing past that point, but they don't even know that that's the center of the earth. It also has spiritual significance. In the night, if you go to Ola and the coast, all of them, if they are doing their spiritual things, they point to the middle. It has spiritual significance. Akomfo will tell you, maybe Nananum, they know. You see, they know. So we have to make noise and make money from it. We can do tourism from Elmina to Cape Coast for the tourists in a nice canoe with a canopy. Some tourists would like to cruise in a traditional vessel from Elmina to Cape Coast to watch the castle. These are businesses. We give free consultation for people, but they don't pay us, so I've stopped giving those consultations. Anyway, so that's the blue economy for you. Yeah. There are other opportunities that we can discuss afterward. We have to get supplementary livelihood for the fishermen. Whether we are going to cut their number or not, they need some supplementary livelihood. If you go to our fisher communities, poverty, you can see poverty. Some fishermen are rich. They are richer than we, the lecturers, even teaching in the university. But how many of them? Most of them, they work for only few who are making the money, and it's not the best. So we have to bring some alternatives which will improve their lives. We also have to combat some effects of climate change, which government is doing something on it. You see the coastal protection that is part of it, that they are combating the effects of climate change to protect the fisher communities so that they don't swept away. I think some people are already facing that challenge, Keta and other places. Yes, we have so many or too many landing sites. The fishery officers will tell you over 300 landing sites along the coast for just 500 and roughly 550 kilometer stretch of coast. And it becomes difficult to monitor fishermen. In some places, before you leave out to fish, they inspect your fishing gear and your boat. And so there's no way you can go with formalin, there's no way you can go with explosives, you'll be caught. When you go to Elimina and Mori, you see fishermen carrying generator, genset with cables. It's clear they are going to do light fishing. Light fishing is a fishing method, but it destroys the environment. It attracts everything in the sea, in that vicinity. And these fishermen fish with smaller mesa, which is not approved. So the smaller one that should replenish the stock will never go through the net. And they are caught and they are destroyed. So it is not the best. Yes, this message should be sent to the minister and to the cabinet straight. Sustain fishing, close season for all categories of fishes. This year, we excluded the canoe fishermen. It's not the best. They are all part of the problem. We are not saying that they are causing the illegal, but they are part of the problem. So why do you have to take them out? Let all of us give our support to replenish the stock so you don't take some group out. The reasons they gave are not really scientific for taking them out. So please, Rep of Minister, you are here. Kindly add it to your notes and let the minister take you to court there order or the exclusion came from above. So I believe that in next close season, they will involve everybody. It's the good thing. And probably the period, I think the fishermen, their problem is the period that they normally ask them to close. We can discuss it and meet them halfway, but just to exclude them completely, I don't think is the best. Again, MPA, that's the Marine Protected Areas. We are about getting our first Marine Protected Area in Greater Cape 3 Point. We have some colleagues who are working on the committee. I think even yesterday, I think they met also in Accra. It is a good thing. But that is not all. We should go further to also establish Marine Special Plan, which we don't have. It has been on the drawing board for a long time. We just allow anybody to do anything anywhere in our marine environment. It's not the best. If you go to Norway today, some places in a marine space are not open for even oil exploration. They know there's oil there. No. So please, we have to really do the Marine Special Plan. Geographers are here to help us to do it. We also have to create what we call the fish sanctuaries. If you go to other places, they have fish sanctuaries. So that's why I said Marine MPA is not the complete work. If you just establish MPA, we go and sleep. We need fish sanctuaries. Fish sanctuaries are places that you are attracting the fish to come and breed and grow. So elsewhere, they have boulders or they have created concrete with holes in it. If you dump them in the sea, certain parts of the sea, with time, they become what you call the FAD, fish attractive devices. It will start gathering green things called algae. And then the fish babies, or the what you call the algae and zooplankton will come and feed on the algae. And then the baby fishes, the juvenile fishes will also come and feed. And then the big fishes will come. And with time, if you leave the place, you close the place for about 5-6 years, you will see the marvelous things. Fishes will be there for the fishermen to even fish around the fish sanctuary. This is not beyond us. We can do it. Smaller countries, they have done it. If you go to Philippines and other places, they have done it. So why can't we do it? To replenish. So there are ways to replenish our stock. We also sometimes call them artificial reefs. So you don't have to wait for the natural reef, but you can also have artificial reefs. You create it yourself. So look at... so these are ways that we can use to replenish our fish stocks. Next. I must get into the end. Thank you. Danke, obrigado. Because there are Germans listening online and also Portuguese from Cape Verde listening online. Thank you so much.
Let's kindly applaud him once again while he makes his way to his seat. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be treated to a musical interlude. And to help us is a gentleman with his group of friends. He usually will be seen in the engineering field, but for today, he's going to be doing some instruments in the field of music. Let's welcome engineer Charles Arthur and his friends. I believe we can do it better for Engineer Charles Arthur and his friends. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll welcome our speaker back on stage, this time with his acknowledgments. Let's welcome Professor Joseph Agriffin.
So you go with this one. Okay. Yes, I thought that was the right shape. Yeah, that is a nice rendition from my own in-law. Engineer Charles Atta is married to my niece. Thank you, Charles. That is my benefit I'm getting from you. He always services my air condition also for free. That's good. Engineer Charles Atta and the team, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I first want to give acknowledgement to God in the song that he played. Chatabura is one of my favorites. And I have still Methodism in me, so I don't joke with such songs. And then Jesus Safo, but there's no time for them to play Jesus Safo for me. I would sing in my head and play it in my car. Jesus Safo. I first want to thank the acting Vice Chancellor Pro VC. He's a colleague in the department. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present my research. As I told you, I wrote this 2 years ago, but there wasn't an opportunity in the university to give my inaugural lecture at that time. So thank you for giving me the opportunity now. Registrar is far away, but his rep is here. Our Director for Human Resource is here representing in the person of Mr. Adum Kunedu. Thank you for coming. I also want to acknowledge Mr. Jeff Unyami, our former registrar. Mr. Unyami, thank you. He used to work with my brother, so he knows me right from the beginning when I came here. Thank you so much seeing you today. Also, College of Professors. I see a lot of my seniors, emeritus professors with them, former vice chancellors, deans, and so on. Thank you so much. I do appreciate your presence here. After that, they will see how they will rope me. I hope you won't bully me. Again, Provost here present. I also want to acknowledge all of you. I want to give special acknowledgement to Mr. KT Dazi. You know, I mentioned his name initially and showed a picture. He came here with his bosom friend, Professor Bedu Akosa. Prof, I acknowledge you. Thank you so much. He promised he will come with him, and I've seen him in the crowd. That's good. Let me say a little about Mr. Dazi. I was just a national service personnel in Legon. Due to my hard work, my professor is retired now, Mr. Ekeyama Legon, just shipped a school advertisement under my laboratory door. I used to have a small lab because we go out to the field to work, and I work in that particular lab, so I owe the key. One after I went to Bush County, when I came, it was under my slip, my door. I look at it, it has written that Joe applied to this school. I applied to the school. That time we write letters. Within a month, I got a reply to go to Bremen. Then I enrolled in German classes at Goethe Institute around, is it Damkosek or so? Then I learned German language, the Grundstoff 1. For the few months, I was to apply for the visa. I applied and I got a visa. I used some NGO letters to get a visa, but then I don't have money to buy a ticket to go to Germany. I say, hey, Joe. I look left, I look right, nobody is there. Then I walk to this gentleman, Mr. KT Dazi. He has financial business. His wife is popular. If I mention the wife's name, you know that, yeah. That is Gifty Afeni Dazi's husband. Yes. He said, Bushenima, he didn't know me. So I walked to him with my passport with visa. He said, Uncle, where the one boy me who? Then this man looked at my face. Then who is my mother? I mentioned my mother's name. I didn't hear long, but he still doesn't remember. Then he said I should bring my mother. Then I went to Takrady to already put on her good GTP. I put her in STC. We went to Accra, straight to his office. He has a big office in Circle. When he saw the old lady, then Uncle Katie became relaxed. Then he picked a phone. He called Lufthansa's office. How much is the ticket? He gave me money. Old lady sat down. I went to buy the ticket. When I came back, he put the ticket in the passport and put it in his front desk. He said, then go back to Takrady. When it's time to go, come. So, few weeks or so, I came with my things to Accra, going to Germany without even seeing the ticket, but I've bought it already. The one I can say, Kwesi is also crazy. So, Kwesi, how much do you need? And I said, I will need 3 months sponsorship. When I go, there will be some kind of scholarship available. Then, how much? Then I said, I will need 300 Dutchman. That is what Dutch, it's what 99, so Dutchmans. Is that all? The man is ready to give over. I am reluctant to just mention big figures. You know, what's the idea? You have to be careful. So, the thing ended at 3 months. Then this man opened the drawer and he counted Dutchmans for me. Then he gave a driver to give me a chauffeur to airport. Make sure that I've flown out of Ghana. Uncle, thank you so much. But, so when I was in the plane, I was contemplating, this man, how did that affect his heart for you to do this? So I promised myself that no matter the odds, I will finish the program and then come back to Ghana and work. And I've done so. And I say this to honor him that my professorship is because of the support that you gave me. And Katie, thank you so much. Again, I want to also appreciate Professor Emeritus K.N. Eisen. He couldn't come today, but he's listening to us live. I went there on Sunday asking him if he can come. No, he's my dad, academic dad. When I came, he's the professor I met. And then he has helped me so many. We live together. I live in his house at Notola. And most of us on campus think that he's my father. But we just met here and he just liked me because I'm a good boy. So, Prof. Isaac, thank you. I know you will meet and talk. I went to talk to him about my topic. I said, Joe, the topic is very seasonal and it's good. Thank you so much, Emeritus Professor. And he doesn't want me to call him Professor. he prefers me calling him daddy. Me and my wife has been very close to the family. Thank you so much, Professor. I also have a bosom friend. He's a diplomat in China now, Mr. Alexander Benakwa. Because of the conflict in Middle East, he couldn't come, but he sent the wife to come. Mrs. Christy Benakwa, you are here. Thank you for coming. I do appreciate your presence here, Christy. I want to acknowledge the chief executives that were able to come. I invited the MC, CCM. I don't know whether he's here. You are acknowledged. Okay. Yes, sir. We met briefly recently at a workshop in their conference room. And he gave a talk, and I was asking myself, this man, has he fished before? He understands the issues of fishing. So after that, I walked him. I said, Honorable, I want to invite you to my inaugural. And he gladly accepted it. Thank you for coming. Nananum, I want to acknowledge you. We have 3 groups of Nananum. Ogwara Traditional Council, ably led by Osabarema, Dr. Kwesiata II, Ogwara Omayan. We are honorary advisory chair members in a committee that they hardly call us SPP. But I take it that Nana is now a little old, so at least me, they can call me. SPP members, if you are here, please call me. And pro bono, I don't normally charge them when they call. We are only advising them. We advise them to do the right thing, to advise also their members to do the right thing. So I'm sure very soon they will call us to come to their meeting. Again, Nana Kweku Enu the fourth, Kokwade the third, Kokwade Hene. Sorry if I've not given you the right title, sorry. And then Nana Kwesi Ejin, that is in normal life, it's called Mr. Aletipapo. We are in the Bible class together. So people who think that Nananum don't know, what do you call it? Spirituality, yes. He's my spiritual partner in Methodist Church. And whenever it comes to Bible class, I like his contribution. As you are talking about spiritual things, he's talking about traditional, I'm also talking about intellectual things. And it works perfect. Nana, thank you for coming. Again, Edna Traditional Council, we have a number of them here. Let me try and mention some of them. Nana Tvucc the first is the chief of my family land. That is Sibyl, Edna Sibyl. That is my mother's area. Nana Tvucc the first. Nana Okokroko Ekuam Manan. That's so. Ekuam Manan the fifth. Mankrado of Edna Traditional Council. Nana Afakwa the second, chief of Ayen Sudo. I know a number of them were with them. Sorry if I haven't acknowledged you, but later in the speaker or the MC will acknowledge. I think a number of them joined later that I didn't get their name. Sorry for that. And Mabu Traditional Council, we have Nana Katamanto Amonu the 12th. And Mabu Omahi, I think he's here. Was he able to come? They accepted to come. I don't know whether they are. Nana Bafo the 4th. Quentin of Anmabo Traditional Council, and Nana Mbroba Dabo the first, the Queen Mother of Anmabo Traditional Council. We met at a workshop. I also realized that Nana's knowledge in education, in fisher community, is so deep. And I promised myself that anytime we get any funding that supports training in that regard, definitely we will consider your traditional area. Very soon, Mabu College will be opened, and all of you are going to benefit from our trainings. Yeah, we are here to see it come to fruition. Now, my family. I sandwich between 2 big families. For my maternal side and paternal side, they are all here. I've seen a lot of faces that I haven't seen for a long time. So, with my maternal family, I have my senior brother Gilbert, Albert, Felicia, Agnes, Thomas, Alfred. They are all here. Thomas came all the way from UK because of this lecture. Thank you so much. All of them have played a role in my upbringing because being a last born, I always fell on them. And I remember I used to get some dollars from Tommy when he was in Norway and now in UK. Thank you very much. I do appreciate all of them. Again, my Ebusepen is also here, Mr. Frank Eshen and the wife. And also, Brother Suman and the rest. You are all acknowledge. Now, my Finn family. No, my father is from Hinton. Even though he didn't stay, he was in secondary throughout. I've also never stayed here until I got a job in Cape Coast. But my traditional name, wherever I mention it, people can trace my source. Atremansa, Kwesi Atremansa Finn. And I hardly use the name. Maybe now that I've mentioned the name, Ogoamanyi will know my source. Anyway, so most of them don't know because my father died early at the secondary school from 2 or so, then he went away. So mostly I am with my cousins and the rest. The Finn family are also ably represented here. Mr. Samuel Benya, I've seen him with a wife, came all the way from Accra. Thank you. Dr. Edward Finn is listening to me from Namibia. I gave him the link this morning and he says, Kwesi, I will join the link. Mrs. Let me call you the Efe Finn, Edwina Efe Finn, but she's now Mrs. Efe Nyakulati. She also came all the way from Germany to listen to this talk. Ato Finn, my body. Ato, welcome. I've seen Sister Patricia, Sabina Frimpong, Jane, that is Glover, Baba, you are all here. You are acknowledged. I have a number of nephews and nieces that I can't mention them one by one. Mr. Ernest Bill and the brothers are also here. Thank you, Ernest. Whenever I'm in Takoradi, you take me around to see the new places to chill. Thank you very much. My in-laws are also here. Mr. Tony Bill. I used to be at a school that they don't do science. Then I was insisting, no, I want to do science as far as secondary school. So Form 3, this is my in-law, have to fight and get a place for me to go to St. John's where I can read science. And so when I went there, I saw the science potential in me, and then I've continued up to this point. Initially, I wanted to be a pilot, but I didn't get correct guidance because I was very good in mathematics, physics, and even geography. And I used to look at the board and call the solution of mathematics. Can you imagine? So they started calling me Archimedes. So if I've gotten the right guide, I'm sure by now I will be pilot in the air. But this is also okay anyway. Engineer. So Mr. Tony Bill is my brother-in-law. He's married to one of my sisters, Antoinette. Engineer Charles Atta. Yeah, he's married to my niece. He's the one who played the sax. And Charles, thank you so much for your support. He told me that, Prof, I will come and play the sax. I said, Charles, are you sure? So, yeah, Prof, that is my area. I know he plays a lot of instruments, but the sax is the first time I've seen him playing the sax. So thank you so much, Mr. Charles Atta. I have my in-laws from my wife's side, that is Asian family. Brother Joseph, he came all the way from UK. Joseph Asian. No, my wife's maiden name is Asian. To come and listen to me. Mrs. Viviana, Frau Angelina Odro, she's listening to me in Cologne, in Germany. That's my wife's senior sister. I used to visit her in Cologne every Christmas, Easter. She would invite me to go to Cologne, and you know, Cologne. She would do everything to make me happy in Cologne. So I thank you so much, Sister Angelina. She couldn't come because of the change in dates, but then she's listening to us. We have Mrs. Aubrey in UK. That's my wife's senior sister. She's also listening, but the husband is here, Mr. Aubrey. Uncle Charles, thank you for coming all the way from UK. Mr. and Mrs. Atomochia, they were supposed to be about something happened and they have ended up in Atlanta, but I've given him the link, so I'm sure they are listening to us. Uncle Mochia, thank you so much. Mrs. Stella Asma, I wonder she was able to come, but if she's not here, I'm sure she's listening to us. Regina Asma is here. Also came from UK. They are all related to my wife. In-laws, Mr. Regina Asma and Mr. and Mrs. Buama. I've seen you here. Right. Thank you for coming. I acknowledge you. My department, let me first give acknowledgement to our late professors. Late Professor Emeritus Kobina Yankson. Unfortunately, they are not with us. And late Professor John Blay. I came to meet them here, and they were our pioneers in the department. Actually, I came to UCC because of Professor Yankson. I've come after my master's. I came to Ghana. I want to look for a job. After my wedding, Can you imagine? You haven't started working, but you are marrying. But then I had my PhD admission, so I will go back. Yes, so I was just looking for funding. So my plan was to marry and take my wife back to Germany. Then I came to UCC one time to visit my brother Albert. So Albert asked us to go and eat at the canteen on top of the hospital. On our way back, then my brother said, Professor Nelson, don't you remember? So I remember when I came to Ghana to do my research, I met him. Then he said, he's now a Pro VC. That time, it was the first time they have appointed him as Pro VC. So when I greeted him, he didn't know that I'm back from Germany. Sir, Joseph, are you back? I said, yeah. What am I doing? I said, Prof, I'm still looking for. So they are about to start Fisheries and Aquatic Science under School of Biological Science. Please, it is your area of specialty. Can you apply? Straight away, my brother Albert took me to one Mr. Anyin. He was the, I think, HR. I took it to Tvucc. I feel the following day or two, I brought it. Then, few months, I was asked to come for interview. So at the interview, then I presented my admission, PhD admission from Germany and other documents. Then that time, Professor Robin said, oh, but you have admission then? Why? We only give you 1 year to teach as assistant lecturer, then you go back with a scholarship. So within 1.5 years, they gave me get funds to go back and finish my PhD and come back. So it's like they were sacking me from Ghana to go back to Germany. And so I did. And after that, I came. And since then, I've been with UCC. And I'm sure UCC has benefited from the support that they have given me over the years. So Professor Nyanksin, the late Professor Nyanksin, Prof. Blake, thank you so much. Unfortunately, they are not here. Professor Edward Abude, I don't know whether he was able to come. Prof. Abude is now our father in the department, surviving father. And he gives us fatherly advice. Thank you for your support. Professor Abude, if you are here, you are acknowledged. Acting VC is our colleague. Let me tell you a little story about Acting VC. We met in Germany. I did school in UCC undergrad, by Legon, East, UCC, but from Sweden, he came to Germany to do another master. Then we met. Then, at a point, we were all bored in Germany. See, we want to finish our program and come. It was in different faculty. There was another faculty. So we meet and we always plan that, Charlie, can we meet on weekend in town to drink some beer? Then, we will gradually arrange and we meet at Hobmanov, their train station in Hobmanov. Then, we walk a little, we take a tram a little, then whilst we are in the tram, we are looking for possible beer garden. Germany say beer garden. So we locate one and we will get off the tram and then we will start our thing. Then, most of the things we are doing here, we started talking about them when we were in Germany. So thank you so much, Acting VC. And he's a colleague in the department. The first lady is also here. Mrs. Aito. Cynthia, you are acknowledged. Other members in my department, Professor Sari, I've seen him here. We're also in Germany. Then he left for UK later. What again? Dr. Emmanuel Champon. We have to write a book. A lot of things we did in Germany, it is not on our CV. We did a lot of things. They are good things anyway. But we will one day write a book on that because it cannot appear on our CV. So we work in car companies. We are using mower to mow in the cemetery before. But they were paying well, so why not? But you see, all of us, after that, we have come back home to help Ghana. Thank you. So later, Dr. Champon left to Hamburg. And he married a German, but he has still come back to Ghana to help. And I came back to marry a Ghanaian. Yeah, other members in the department, Dr. Isaac Autry, some of them, I taught them when I came here, but now they are also senior lecturers. Some of them are even moving to associate professor very soon. Dr. Autry is one of them, Dr. Paul Mason, Dr. Kojom Reku. I taught most of them. Dr. Mason came from South Africa to join us. Dr. Michelle Clotte Saki, now she's with us. Dr. Maggie Akwete, I also taught her at a point. Now they are all members of staff in the department. Mr. Sifadeb, I don't know whether he was able to come, but he just retired. He has been with the department for some time. And there are office staff, Mavis and the rest. Thanks for your support. You are always working hard for the department. Again, Mr. and Mrs. Jacob Enuansa, yes, because I saw him waving hands. Jacob, yeah, this man is a businessman, but his business is toward Fisheries. So he used to have a big aquaculture hatchery, supplying Western, Central, and beyond the fingerlings of tilapia for aquaculture. And now he's doing other things in addition to that. Jacob, thank you very much. When we were developing our aquaculture manual, he contributed so much in the entrepreneurship aspect. Yeah. And I always admire his knowledge. Even the African Ocean Institute, he was part of the team that we went hideout to develop the manual that has been accepted now by GTEC. Thank you very much, Jacob. The technicians, I met a lot of technicians in the department when it was zoology, and then one is Mr. Hagan. I don't know when he was able to come. Mr. Hagan, yes, this man still looks young. Later, he was moved to medical school, but when I came initially, he was the one we met, and Mr. Agbele and the rest. Mr. Hagan is here, yeah. Mr. Hagan, thank you. But he's still strong. I see him once in a while coming around. Mr. Obin, Peter Obin also has worked so hard for the department. All of them, when I came, they used to take me to the field. If you need any assistance, we need a boat, inflatable boat, they will go with us and so on and so on. We have also done some projects together and they've helped in the technical aspect. Mr. Thomas Davis, our current technician, the chief technician and Prosper, Albert, they are all doing well. Owusu and the rest, thank you very much. I have my past and present student, both postgraduate and undergraduate. I've acknowledged all of you. School of Biological Science lecturers, from the Dean, Acting Dean, Professor Justus Precious Dekuma, I hope he's here. Prof, you are acknowledged. And all the academic staff and non-academic staff in School of Biological, that's my school. Our faculty officer, Mrs. Flory Date. Thank you so much for your support, Flory. Again, our college, the college provost, she always calls me, but she's my secondary sister. So she calls me secondary brother or my senior brother, and I do appreciate our provost. Thanks for coming. Mr. Isaac Nyoko, our college registrar, you also acknowledge. VACO Hall Council, I spent some of my time in the hall. VACO as a tutor, as a senior hall tutor, and also as a hall master. I didn't finish my hall master 3 years. I spent only 2 years, then I was pulled to oil and gas to go and head or build that institute. And I'm happy I was pulled there because I saw other potentials in me to establish an institute. Thank you so much. And I thank Professor Kupolo for giving me that opportunity. Then, yeah, so that is there is a group on campus called Boys. Boys, are you here? Yes, Boys. Let me tell you a little about this group. Boys, they are hard-working old men who don't want to grow. And they have named themselves Boys. Now, almost all the members in the group are professors, associate professors and professors. Can you clap for yourself? People thought we only meet at the clubhouse and maybe share ideas over the influence of beer. No. We work at, and now almost all the boys are associate professors and professors. Only 1 or 2 are young ones that are coming up. We have 2 ladies among us. One of them is now appointed as a Ghana ambassador to Canada. Professor, Her Excellency Professor Doda. She's listening to me all the way from, Toronto? There's another one, Milan. I don't know whether she's here. Milan, you are acknowledged. Yes. Boys. A girl who is a boy, you can imagine. And boys have associates. Most of the associates are ladies. I don't understand. And so, for Steve, Vera, Abrewa, Regina, you are all acknowledged. Boys associates. Then, I have my schoolmates here from St. John's. One is Reverend Vincent Hun, he's in Takrady, and one Dr. Emmanuel Emisa is in US. He couldn't come, but he's listening to me. I also have my German class here called ISETEC 2001 group. We spread all over the world because it was an international program, and most of us are now in research and academia. And Jenny is listening to me from Colombia, one of the universities in Colombia. Jenny Lee Flores in Colombia. Helga in Alfred Wegener Institute, Professor Helga in Bremerhaven. Yasma and Ikwan from Indonesia, I acknowledge you. Annika Wiemann in Potsdam University in Bremen, in Germany. Then Monica in Heidelberg University, I acknowledge all of you. I appreciate your support. My secondary school tutor is here. We were there in St. John's, then Form 3. They brought a nice looking slim gentleman, say from UCC. Then he teaches, no, chemistry is abstract, but this man will teach you chemistry to understand. So he taught me O-level chemistry. I went to A-level, he taught me chemistry. Mr. Reverend Samuel Kofi Esel is here. You are acknowledged. Thank you for coming. He came all the way from Takoradi to support me. Reverend, thank you so much. I appreciate your chemistry that you taught me, O-level, A-level. Yes, I mentioned about church members and people were surprised. I am a pure Methodist. So I have my class members here. I'm not a leader, but I'm a member there. So I can mention my class leader, Mr. Oscar Odum. I don't know whether he was able to come. Mr. Odum is here, you see. Thank you very much. Mr. Odum, when they finish, they will come and ask you, what is my contribution in the Bible class? I always give academic explanation to the Bible. I make it simple for them. And whilst Nana is talking about traditional things, I'm also talking about intellectual things. Thank you very much. He came with Sister Florence, Sister Macalina, and Sister Rosemary, and the rest. You are acknowledged. Thank you so much. Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture. Minister was supposed to be here, but I told her due to some unforeseen circumstances, she has to travel to meet the president far away in Indonesia also. And so she sent me a text message yesterday that she's sending a delegation from the ministry to come. One is the Deputy Executive Director, Professor Esedu Bechi, is here. You are acknowledged. Then Mr. Emmanuel Devlo. Emmanuel Devlo was my mate in Legon, but he's now a Central Regional Fisheries Director. Dovai, thank you, sir. He used to call me Azay brother. No, we used to call ourselves Azay brother in Legon. I never knew that anything I say Azay. So they started calling us Azay brother, which I didn't even know. That because Takoradi, it's one of the terminologies that Azay. So Dovai, thanks for coming. Again, I know Professor Benjamin Campion is here. Campion is the Executive Director of Fisheries Commission. And interestingly, we were in Germany together. It was a year after me, the program that I went through the same ISETEC. But we used to do summer parties, and we grill. No, just to, Europe is boring. And we will do party in his room. So, Campion, but he's now the executive, he's a professor in fisheries in KUSC, but he's now appointed as the Fisheries Commission Executive Director. Campi, thanks for coming. We will talk more after this. Mr. Samuel Kote is a former FC director. In fact, I've gone to Germany back to do my PhD. When I was going, I had idea what I want to do, but over there, the professors will always challenge you. I wrote my proposal, then said, this thing, it doesn't know how it will work, so I should change it. I will put my head in the books. I started reading. I came out with other ideas. Then I realized that I have to come back to West Africa to collect data. My plan was to start from Ghana, go to Togo, Benin, go to Cote d'Ivoire to collect Balissus capricus data, a rainfall data because the fishes have vanished from our water. I wanted to dip down into the fishes and data to see why it collapsed. Then I chanced upon an email. Mr. Samuel Kote is the director of research in Tema. Then I sent him a mail. Immediately, then the man responded. Also, I would like to come to Ghana. I'm a Ghanaian but a foreign student in Germany. I would like to come to Ghana to do research. Can it be of help? Also, there's a Norwegian vessel coming within 1.5 months. So you can put him on board. Normally, they have to, going offshore to do research, it's like you are traveling out of Ghana. You need to be well documented. So it's like a visa, you have to be accepted because it goes with so many pros and cons. So quickly, the man added me to the contingent from Ghana, so they have to drop somebody and add me Can you imagine? Because I'm an international student coming, and what I'm going to do will help Ghana. Then, within a month, I have to organize myself and come to Ghana to join this survey. The survey was among Benin, Togo, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, because we share common fishery resources. So that was 2004, 2005. So thank you so much, Mr. Kote, for giving me that opportunity. And I was able to get those fishes offshore to do my research. After that, I stayed a little to analyze, do some of the lab work, and I carried the spine and then the otolis to Germany to process. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, Mr. Kote. Mr. Benaman is also former FC director. I acknowledge you. Mr. Benaman has been also very, very helpful. Whatever you need at the research center, this man will provide. Be it data, be it documents, even when I was in Germany, I was still writing to them to get information. Interestingly, Hamburg, there is a lab in Hamburg, or library in Hamburg. They have more information on Ghana than what we have. You can't believe it. And the Norwegians also, when it comes to fisheries, our marine resources, they have more information than us. They have a system that has all of our information. So we are not able to keep information or data. And I believe we can do better than that. Let me just hurriedly finish the acknowledgement before. I also want to acknowledge Dr. Charles Te, Western Regional Fisheries Commission Director. If you are here, you are acknowledged. Mr. Te, Dr. Te, sorry. Deputy Directors, especially Mr. Kwame Damwa, I learned you have been transferred to EG, but I acknowledge we have been on board several times, we work together. Ministerial Committee for Anamabu Fisheries College, I invited a number of them, and I believe most of them you are acknowledged. Fishing harbors, when it comes to Albert Bosonche Fishing Harbor, the manager there, you are acknowledged. I don't know whether you came or your rep came. I sent you an invitation. Elmina Fishing Harbor, the manager, you are acknowledged. Thanks for coming. Fisheries Association. Let me start from National Fisheries Association of Ghana, NAFAG. The president is here, Nana Jojo Solomon. If you are here, let me see your hand. Very good, Nana. I acknowledge you. It's my body. Thanks for coming. We have Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council. Their reps are here. National Fish Processors and Traders Association, NAFTA. They are also here. Their reps are here. Canoe and Fishing Gear Owners Association of Ghana. Ghana Inshore Fisheries Association, you are acknowledged. Ghana Industrial Trawlers Association, GITA, if your reps are here, you are acknowledged. Ghana Tuna Association, Small Pelagic Co-Management Committee, Kwapa, National Inland Canoe Fishermen Council, Landing Beach Enforcement Committees, Labek. If your reps are here, I acknowledge you. Vessel Owners Association, Canoe Owners Association, Input Dealers Association. Now we have a new association, Chief Fishermen and Queen Fish Processors Association. Your executive, if you are here, you are acknowledged. Now, let me also acknowledge Chief Fishermen from Elmina, Cape Coast, and Anamabu. I know you are here. Marine Police from Takoradi, you are acknowledged. I also want to acknowledge the EPA directors from Central and Western region. My international partners, some of them are online. Listen, Dr. Palisa Matapo from Nelson Mandela University. She wanted to come in person, but I think she couldn't make it, so she's listening online. Dr. Matapo, thank you so much. Tommy Melo from Cape Verde on Mendelo. I work with their organization, Biosphere, and they are listening to me now. Cape Verde is a nice island to visit. If I've gone there at my early stage, I don't think I would have come to Ghana. Cape Verde is a nice place to be here. Nice things, beautiful things are there. VC himself knows he has been there. So the Instituto du Marine in Mendelo, they are also listening to me. Institute of Marine Research in Bergen, I've worked with them for some time. All the Norwegian collaboration were with them. Dr. Bjorn, thank you so much for your support. Institute of Coastal and Marine Research in Nelson Mandela University. Thank you so much. I know you are listening to me. Professor Emerita Cynthia Jones. I work with in a lab in Norfolk, Old Dominion University. They are well-built lab for otolith processing. So you can imagine, it's an old lady professor, it's an emerita. If it's a male emeritus, female emerita. But then, this woman drives a Porsche Acura. She came to pick me in the airport. It was in the night, I didn't see much about the car. Then, on Monday, when she came to pick me from my hotel close to the university, and I saw the car plate, number plate, she has a customized car number plate called otolith. It tells you the kind of passion this woman, this professor, has with the otolith. So, Dr. Jones, thank you so much. We have professors like Michael Mewa in Kampala. I know you are listening. And so on and so forth. Zenith Bank, if I acknowledge you. I have some academia colleagues. Professor Rose Emma Entremensa, she told me that due to some circumstances, she may not be able to come. But then, his husband will come. So, Mr. Entremensa, if you are here, you are acknowledged. Professor Nunu and the rest, Dr. Boutre, Angela Lamte and the rest, you are acknowledged. Professor Harrison Golo from Winneba, we have worked together when we were doing One Ocean Hub project. You are acknowledged. See, SOs and NGOs here, you are acknowledged. That is Yampuano, Ghana Fisheries Recovery Activity. If you are here, GFR, if you are here, you are acknowledged. Friends of the Nation, you have worked together for some time. Mrs. Matuda Abebio from SAGRAT, if you are here, is the country director for SAGRAT. Dr. Kamal Dean, he couldn't come because there's a big meeting going on in Accra, but then he told me that he would send a rep to come to this lecture. Environmental Justice Foundation, if you are here, you are acknowledged. Anyone has already been acknowledged. Thank you, Jacob. Now, I want to acknowledge my wife and children. Let me tell a little bit about this woman. Only God knows the number of teas and coffees that she has cooked for me to reach this point. Every dawn, anytime I'm working in the study room, do you need coffee or tea? So thank you, Judith, for your support. And strange thing about this woman, people don't know. She was my classmate from class 1 to class 6. Can you imagine? Yes, well-run Methodist. And from class 1 to 6, most of the time, those days, they will give you a report card. And then they will mention 1st to 10th. Then most of the time will be first and she will be second. First, second, then class 5. She became first and I became second. I never understood up to now. So Judy, thank you so much. But we met again after 6th form and then during the national service. That is what all those things started. Thank you so much. Now, yes, so that is Judith for you. My beautiful family, Pakwesi, Sisi, and Sharon. Thank you for your support. I know I'm always on the move. Thank you for your support. Daddy loves you and work hard. All of them, whatever they are doing, I said they should link it to the ocean and the fisheries because that is where the future opportunities are. Then let me take the opportunity to thank my planning committee led by Miss Vera Kujo. Vera, maybe stand up for them to see you. Miss Vera Kujo, VC's secretary. This girl has done a work that about 20 people will do. And together with Chris Ogre is already at the venue. Engineer Chasata, he didn't play just the sax, he was part of my planning committee. And then Madame herself, Judith Agrifin, she was coordinating so many things. Thank you so much. I also want to give thanks to Mr. Nchukunedu and his team, the director for protocol, PAA, that is, what do you call it? Farouk, Public Affairs Group, Nat and Co. Thank you for what you did, Achavasaki and the rest. So on that note, if you have not been acknowledged, please, pardon me, I've acknowledged all of you. Thank you so much.
Right. So at this point, we would witness the rubbing, and I would invite the College of Professors to do us the honors.
Thank you, Izzy.
Professor Joseph Agriffin. Today, the College of Professors, the men and women who are full professors in this university, are extremely proud of you. And we are about to robe you, which is a symbol of our acceptance or your coming to join the College of Professors. The College of Professors is statutory. It's for colleagues who have distinguished themselves to become full professors. And so we are happy to welcome you to this college. And we wish you well. And the symbol of it is that we're going to robe you. May I call on yes, Professor Basua and Professor Samamwa and others should assist me in robing him. Yeah.
Right, so the College of Professors will take turns to congratulate him. After that, they'll take a photo and exit the stage. Thank you, College of Professors. I would invite Mr. Isaac Adum Kunedu, Director, Human Resource, representing the Registrar, to also take his turn to congratulate Professor Joseph Agriffin. I would invite the immediate past Registrar, University of Cape Coast, Mr. Emmanuel Onyame. Representative of the Minister of Fisheries, Representative Minister Fisheries. I would invite the wife and children, Mrs. Judith Agriffin and children. Let's welcome wife and children of Professor Joseph Aggrey-Finn. We would invite in-laws of Professor Aggrey-Finn. All in-laws. All in-laws. In-laws to be followed by maternal family. All in-laws. All in-laws present. In-laws. In-laws will be followed by maternal family members of Professor Aggrey-Finn. Maternal family, maternal family, maternal family, to be followed by paternal family. Maternal family members of Professor Aggrey-Finn, to be followed by paternal family members. Maternal family members. With Ebusia Opinion Dada Frank Ishen. Maternal family members of Professor Aggrey-Finn, to be followed by paternal family members. Can we get the paternal family members also heading towards the stage? Please, from the other end. From the other end. Let's hold on a bit for them to exit. Thank you. Please exit from my right. Please exit from my right. Please exit from my right. Paternal family members, please come up stage. Mr. K.T. Dazi and Professor Ajuman Bedu Akosa, you are next. Mr. K.T. Dazi and Professor Ajuman Bedu Akosa, you are next. That's the paternal family members of Professor Griffin. They'll be followed by Mr. K.T. Dazi and Professor Ajiman Bedua Kosa. Thank you very much. Please exit from my left. We're welcoming Mr. K.T. Dazi and Professor Ajiman Bedua Kosa. They would be followed by the Honorable MCE for Cape Coast. The Honorable MC for Cape Coast, Mr. Justice Arthur. Thank you very much. The Honorable MCE for Cape Coast. All directors of MOFA and the Fisheries Commission. MOFA, Fisheries Commission, you are next. MOFA, Fisheries Commission. Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture, and then the Fisheries Commission. Staff of the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences. Staff, Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences. A score is inclusive. A score is inclusive. They'll be followed by One Ocean Hub. Staff members of the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences as well as ASCO will be followed by One Ocean Hub. They have a citation. The department, together with ASCOR, is presenting a citation to Prof as well. Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, and then ASCOR would also make a presentation, and they'll be followed by One Ocean Hub. Let's welcome ASCOR. One Ocean Hub. We have ASCOR now. They'll be followed by One Ocean Hub. One Ocean Hub will be followed by lecturers in the School of Biological Sciences. One Ocean Hub will be followed by lecturers, School of Biological Sciences. Thank you, A Score. Please exit from my left. One Ocean Hub. Lecturers, School of Biological Sciences. School of Biological Sciences, kindly approach from the left. One Ocean Hub is on stage now. Please exit from my right. Please exit from my right. Let's welcome lecturers, School of Biological Sciences. Tvucc is next. Tvucc is next. After the lecturers from the School of Biological Sciences, Tvucc is next. Tvucc. Tvucc. So the provost of the college with Provost of the College of Agriculture and Natural Sciences, Alcohol Council. Alcohol Council is next. Then Friends from HASAG. Alcohol Council is next, to be followed by Friends of HASAG. Alcohol Council now, to be followed by Friends from HASAG. Alcohol Council, to be followed by Friends from HASAG. Alcohol Council. Friends from HASAG next. Friends from HASAG. To be followed by Institute for Oil and Gas Studies. Institute for Oil and Gas Studies will come next. We have friends from HASAG now on stage. They'll be followed by Institute for Oil and Gas Studies. Oil and Gas Studies. UTAG is next. UTAG is next. UTAG is next. UTAG. UTAG will be followed by Boys. UTAG. Let's welcome Boys. Please exit from my right so that Boys can come up the stage from the left. Let's welcome Boys. We have Boys on stage now. Boys be followed by Fisheries associations here. All Fisheries associations here. NAFAG, NAFTA, among others. You are next. All Fisheries associations here. Fisheries associations here. Thank you, Boys. Fisheries associations here. Fisheries associations here. All fisheries associations here. Fisheries associations will be followed by CSOs and NGOs, Henimpuano, GFRA, Friends of the Nation, amongst others. Fisheries associations. We are welcoming fisheries associations present. Fisheries associations will be followed by CSOs, NGOs present, Henimpuano, GFRA, Friends of the Nation, amongst others who are present. Thank you. Please exit from my right. CSOs and NGOs. You'll be followed by Friends of Professor Griffin. 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 Graduated students of Professor Griffin. Graduated students of Professor Griffin. Graduated students of Professor Griffin. You are next. Graduated students of Professor Griffin. You are next after Friends. Graduated students, please approach the stage. Graduated students of Professor Griffin, please approach the stage. The graduated students will be followed by postgraduate and undergraduate students. Graduated students of Professor Griffin, now. You'll be followed by postgraduate and undergraduate students. Postgraduates and undergraduate students of Professor Griffin, approach the stage from my left. Thank you, graduate students. Graduated students, thank you. Thank you, graduated students. Do we have students of A score here? Students of A score. You are here, okay. These are postgraduate and undergraduate students of Professor Griffin. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Prof, it is time for you to descend and shake hands with Nananom as you make your way to your seat. Professor Griffin will take the opportunity to shake hands with Nananom who have graced the occasion. Let's applaud him whilst he takes his seat. During Prof's acknowledgement, he extensively showed appreciation to a lot of you who have graced the occasion and have supported him in his journey to this point. At this point, I would only acknowledge a few individuals, and that would be the College of Professors who are here. Before that, we have the Director Human Resource, Mr. Isaac Adum-Kunedu, who is representing the Registrar of the University. We acknowledge Professor Kingsley Boa Basua. We acknowledge Professor Sarah Dakwa, Professor Dorcas Obri Yabua, Professor J.V. Mensah, Professor Livingston Sam Amoa, and Professor Eugene Kufoma Fodate. They are all members of the College of Professors. At this point, I would invite our Vice Chancellor, who is our chairman, to give his closing remarks. Let's welcome him with a round of applause.
Mr. Isaac Adum-Kunedu, Director of Human Resources, representing the Registrar of the University of Cape Coast, Nananom, representatives of the Honorable Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture, College of Professors, all protocols observed. You will agree with me that we have had a very successful inaugural lecture where Professor Agriffin has been inducted into the College of Professors of the University of Cape Coast. His inaugural lecture emphasized that Ghana's fisheries resources are indeed declining and therefore not a myth. The decline is attributed to factors like overfishing. He spoke about the IUU, which is basically illegal fishing practices, habitat degradation, and climate change. Permit me to highlight some of the key issues that he raised. One of them had to do with fish stocks have been declined significantly by more than 50% from the graphics that he showed since the period 1960s. He also emphasized that small pelagic fisheries are crucial for food security, even though they are crucial for food security, are on the verge of collapse. Having said that, he emphasized on government urgently taking action to strengthen fisheries management, regulation and enforcement, implement sustainable fishing practices with focus on science and research and livelihoods. What he said in his inaugural lecture is akin or similar to what we may describe as tragedy of the commons, which refers to a situation where shared resources such as fisheries and in some other jurisdiction, forests and other water resources have been overused and eventually depleted because individuals prioritize their personal interest over collective good. Within Ghana's context, this issue of tragedy of the commons, as he explained, by virtue of the data and the publications that he put out, highlights that many fishermen exploit the resources without restraint, leading to overfishing and depletion of fish stocks. Harmful environmental practices and have serious implications on livelihoods. Having said that, we want to, on behalf of the university management, thank Professor Joseph Agriffin for availing himself to this very important event, which defines a turning point of professors, associate professors who become full professors. On that note, we want to thank you so much for shaping the lives of many of colleagues, including my own self. You are an immediate mentor to myself, Noble, and many other colleagues who are in the department. On this note, I want to use the opportunity to also highlight the fact that the University of Cape Coast, in the coming months, will be witnessing a number of inaugural lectures. Next month, Professor Ernestay, I hope he's here. Can we see you? On the 16th of April, will be giving us his inaugural lecture. I just saw that the flyer is already out. Yes, feed them because of other university events. We will be pushing them into early next year. So the list.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll take the closing prayer to be said by Reverend Dr. Patrick Kwampa. Let's all rise as we take the closing prayer.
We are praying. God Almighty, we thank you for a very successful and fruitful inaugural lecture. As we bring the program to an end, we thank you for your presence. We thank you for the university authorities. We thank you for the lives of all the dignitaries, Nananum functionaries, and all stakeholders that grace the occasion.